550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a day with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In the yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the oh well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Welcome back to another week of the Titan Immortal League. It's week number 5. We've got a Group B matchup highlighted for you all today. It's Stasis Gaming Resurgence versus Mint Superior. My name is Ferris. I'm joined by the wonderful Satyr on the caster desk today. Golden Gad is gone. He's on a magical journey. He's not playing Bard, but we don't know when Golden Gad's coming back. So holding down the fort is my man Satyr here on the desk tonight for Titan Immortal. How are you feeling today, my friend?
Yeah, I'm holding down the fort on 3 streams in 1 week. I'm appearing in every league to see how everything's going on. Got to make sure everyone's doing well. Check in on all my casters. And of course, Faris, who's now joined us, who I did have the pleasure of working with last year with some open qualifiers, which was a lot of fun for the GHG crowd. But yeah, really excited to jump in here. I haven't heard you cast in a little while, and I want to see how you're getting on. See how the big boy has become the biggest boy now, coming to the Immortal League. And yeah, you've got a lot of information for me as well, which is the first thing I noticed. You actually are taking notes. Congratulations. You are the best caster I played with so far.
Oh, wow. I mean, I'm getting all the gas. I absolutely love that. I'll take it. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of my homework. We got a good matchup here today. Well, it might be a good matchup. It might not be because Mint Superior has been on a tear as of late. 3-1 here in the Immortal League. Stasis Gaming now 4-6 in game score, 2-2 in the series score. They're not a team to scoff at, but we'll see how they do up against Mint. And talking a little bit about these players here, I really am excited for the jungle matchup between Jerry X and Vertigo, 2 potential carry jungle players. I think if we get double carry jungle, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Pay attention to that matchup there. And then also the bot lane, Weeping Bubs has been an absolute killer player for Mint, and as well as Gecko, otherwise known as, you know, as you can see on your screen, Sigma Boy. There's a lot of Sigma Boys on this Stasis Gaming team. We're going to work through that as casters, but the bot lane matchup as well, I think, will be an absolute banger to see. We're into the draft. We're going to see what they got. Mint is on that blue side, Stasis Gaming on the red side, and we're opening it up with a Viego ban.
Yeah, it's going to take away that flexible jungler. It's one of those ones that you can take it no matter what, and you'll always transform into something even better, whatever they want to take in that first rotation. But I'm best on the other side. Now, from your notes, there's a lot of invested jungle going around. So that might be a takeaway from Vertigo. Yasuo going to be banned away. That's a strange one. That's obviously targeted. I don't think Yasuo's appeared in the meta anytime soon, especially at high competitive levels. But there's a ban I did expect, Mel. But the ADC is not being touched right now. That's usually my first rotation if I'm coaching a team here, is you want a strong bot side first.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest picks you think about, if it's not taken away, is the Varus. Varus has been, especially with Fearless Draft becoming prevalent all across the board. I think the Skarner ban, by the way, as well, is very smart. Varus is one of Gecko's best champions, so maybe if Weeping Bubs takes it away, he's also had a couple Varus games as well, 2 of them, and has performed pretty well. There it is. I think that's a very smart choice here coming out of Mint. You get that strong bot lane. And again, I really feel the team who's going to have the bot lane to come out on top because these bot laners are so skilled is going to be the team with a whole lot of success in this series.
Yeah, taking a utility bot lane like Varus as well stops those hyper carries from coming through because it's so good at shutting down the likes of Zerries, Jinxes, and Vaynes with just the ability to lock them down, keep them there, and say, hey guys, can we go hit that thing? Because I don't want to anymore. And it just unlocks so much more for you. But on the other side, we have the Pantheon coming through, which is kind of sparked this ingenuity in the jungle of, I can gank from anywhere, watch me. And then a Corki on the other side, a nice little flex pick. It can be swapped around, but when we're talking about jungle, it's Skarner Wukong. They have picked up the Wukong.
They have. So they're going to have that. They have a good amount of engaged so far. I mean, they got Chains of Corruption. Mint also has the Cyclone. And they're going to just slam the Aurora here for Fortnite as well, who has had a lot of good performances on this pick. It's one of the best mids in the whole game. The damage is absurd. No carry is safe around an Aurora. So right now for Mint, we got a whole Send It composition. And quite honestly, with this Galio lock-in now for Mags, at least I'm assuming it's going to be Mags, we have the exact same thing. We got so many globals too. We got Grand Starfall. We've got Heroic Entrance. These teams are just going to go absolutely crazy around these 5v5s. These objectives are going to be super important as now we head into the second round of bans. It looks like these top laners are being targeted without showing what picks are going for yet.
Yeah, Casante's still available there. I'm expecting to see that one come true. They're going to take away a Lulu here for the Varus, not a bad option. The one thing that's sticking out to me so far from the draft is that Pantheon and Galio, in theory, work really well together, but there is a time buffer from when Pantheon lands to when Galio can land on top. So I'd like to see something else that can be maybe even a secondary engage, and Pantheon can kind of come in later. Something else to kind of really hit home, and there's not a lot of top laners available for that. Maybe a Malphite, and that's probably the best possible engage you can get for the Galio, but Karma going to be taken to help keep that Corki alive down in that bot side. What is the opposite enchanter to that? Never mind, it's a Nasus pickup. Okay, right.
Goodness.
You have we seen this before? Has this been in here?
This has been shown from one of these teams. It was Stasis Gaming, but it's Mint that's actually picked this up. So, I mean, this is going to the top lane, and this is also blind, Satyr. I don't know. This is really, this is kind of outlandish. You don't see a blind Nasus very often. There's a Havoc isn't necessarily the biggest player of carry plays, and is actually going to block in Ryze. I mean, this could be Galio top, this could be Ryze mid, or it could be Ryze top to counter this Nasus. And if they do get that matchup, Satyr, like you said, it might actually be a Nasus mid, because I don't know. Okay, so we're going to get the confirmation now. I think that makes a whole lot more sense. But I feel like that Ryze matchup, even if it is in the mid lane, Satyr, that's going to be tough for Fortnite to kind of maneuver around that.
Yeah, there is always that, like, a classic adage of Nasus Emax, and you just poke them out of the lane. That is always something that can be there. And it is an option. It just feels like you set yourself up really well for a team fight, and then you've picked a really heavy scaling melee Nasus mid that's not quite going to hit the same as what you would have if you went for like a top laner that can go into a skirmish. Yeah, this one feels a little bit off the Nasus pick, but so does the Ryze. Ryze is something you don't really see as much anymore. But we are going to see an invade coming through. As pretty as that wall is, Vertigo is seeing 4 people enter his jungle.
He's not going to like that one bit. And the rest of, Mint here is not going to be able to really do a whole lot about that. They do kind of have to just concede this over. Maybe they get some vision on the cross map. It looks like they did get that blue ward down there from Mint's side. So they will be able to see if JREX ends up heading on over that way. But no, buff steals are happening. The Ryze pick, though, just to make another point about it, it has shown a lot of presence in the LPL. I think it actually is like something along the lines of 100% win rate in China, or very, very close. It has rose in priority. But I think on top of that, there's also the third global, essentially, Satyr, that, Stasis have, which is you wanted that secondary engage, didn't really get that. There isn't actually a lot of initial go button here for Stasis, which I feel like could be a hindrance to them later on. They're really just kind of hoping a Justice Punch or a stun from Pantheon is going to start these fights off for them.
Yeah, Justice Punch might be the best way forward here for them, unless they can somehow get a good flank off. There is always those possibilities in those later stages of the games that there is some good macro and movement. As we are free to call them Ligma boys if they ain't. We'll keep that in mind. Really appreciate that one, Jerry. But I'm a little bit optimistic here for the Ryze Galio, because can the Ryze ult be a difference maker in terms of you transport in a Galio and go for that taunt? Is that something that could happen?
Yeah, it definitely could. And also, can Megs actually get involved in side lanes? Already taking a tower shot, not too good. But if you do get involved in those side lanes, you do make your presence known. Taking another tower shot here. Okay, we got to pan the camera away from Mags right now. They're feeling the pressure of all the eyes on top of them right now. And it's going to be good for the Nasus in the early lane for Fortnite to have that reduced pressure a little bit. But if the Ryze can get involved on the map, can surprise people, maybe counter gank, maybe get the first roam, it is going to be Mags who has the better roam potential over Fortnite, who's going to want to sit in mid lane, get as much stacks as possible. Kind of say to the team, guys, go 4v4, relax, unless, I'm right here. I kind of just want to get to the big dog status. And that's going to have to be shut down here if you are a Stasis Gaming. And maybe that pressure that the Ryze exerts can actually do that.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some good split pushing and some good pressure coming from the Ryze. It's always in the back of your mind. It's like, it's not something that I'm used to seeing. And there's always those question marks of how well can it be piloted? Is it a one trick? Is it comfortable? But on the top side, it is a gank.
Oh, there's no way out. Justice Punch was blocked. Good heads up play from Vertigo, and Havoc just not in the right position. It's first blood to Mint Superior.
First blood picked up onto that top side. Wukong already showing why it's such a good pick, sneaking over walls and just having incredible damage and tanky stats. It's just an all-round great jungle pick right now, and we're not even touching on the fact that ult is so impressive. But no, you can't be doing it like this.
It's a Hishinshin TP Satyr. I'm afraid. I don't think they have. Yeah, they don't have the CC. There isn't a lot of gank set up there, and the first gank kind of was the Justice Punch blocked with the stealth of the clone there from Vertigo. So, I mean, honestly, that's not even that bad if you are Havoc, because that is a lot of wasted time from Vertigo's side. And now Jerry, think about getting involved with a little invade here, is going to spot Vertigo. Let's see how this 1 versus 1 goes. The blue buff is up for grabs, and the smite's going to go to Jerry. Oh, man, Vertigo. We know how junglers feel about stuff like that. That's +1 to Jerry. He's got kind of that mental edge going forward.
Mental edge. The assist might have went over and they've gotten the first blood for the top, but that blue buff is going to sting for a while, especially considering they've already taken the scuttle crab, so there's no like, oh, maybe I can rush bot and grab that. No, we got that first, then moved up and got it. So now it's going to go back to just trying to get as many camps as you can, trying to catch back up to that, but every single one of these matters when it comes to getting those extended smites, getting higher level smites, and that could come down to a big fight where you're just not at that level, and Jerry X is going to be feeling themselves for a little while. They're probably going to get a lot more aggressive now that they feel like they can. But on the top side,
Winds of War, that was almost a flash prediction. That would have been sick if it was landed for Havoc. But we can see, despite the gank and that extra kill there for Akira, I mean, this Galio's having a good time. I think that kind of makes sense because, you know, it's the Galio versus an AP champion. As Akira's actually going to stay and catch this wave. We'll see what Havoc ends up doing about that. Looks like he just wants his recall anyways. It's a good back timing. But yeah, of course, it's really good for the Pantheon. The Pantheon wants that CS lead, wants to absolutely run the game. I've seen a couple criticisms about the Pantheon jungle online with, you know, a lot of pros and people who are playing it don't play as aggressive as they should, or they don't get the leads that they should. It ends up becoming really useless when it falls off here. So, you know, getting that farm lead for the moment, definitely going to be a boon there for Jerry. We'll see how well he's able to use that as well. Gecko is in a 1 versus 2. He's going to try. He's actually getting pretty close. He has Conqueror proc. This Corki's really strong, and now here comes Marcotte as well. Oedipus and Bubster have to run for the hills. There's the Mantra Q. Gets both flashes out, or at least just the flash from Bubster. Now the flash comes out from the Rakan. And guess who's here? Jerry with a spear. Oh my goodness, there it goes. And that will be the Rakan down, and they're looking for more here, Satyr. This poor Varus has nowhere to go. They're going to crash the wave. And I feel like, yeah, no flash. He got barrier, but there's just going to be more than enough damage to knock him down. It's a slow burn. Jerry's going to take 1 tower shot. But goodbye, Mr. Bubster. The barrier probably shouldn't even have used that. That's 2 kills over to Stasis.
Yeah, and both of them onto Jerry as well, so going to feel very comfortable. They are losing the grubs on the top side, which was spotted out by Sigma Top, which is Havoc. I will get those wrong, but it was spotted out. They know what's happening. Drake will go over to the other side. How do you feel about the grubs versus Drake here? As never mind, there is gank mid.
Well, it's going to be Mags in trouble here. Good roam from Anti to make this happen. But Mags is pretty fast, even with the Wither there. Well, the Fortnite can't catch up, and the Rise kind of just takes that and gets on out of there. Good try from Anti, but they're not even able to get the flash. So good absorption of pressure there from the Stasis mid laner as, yeah, Jerry taking that Drake. And, you know, really, you know, they don't have, I mean, I guess they have the Rise, so the Grubs would have been nice. And on the other side, there's a Nasus here, Satyr. So the Grubs will be nice for Nasus if he can get some alone time in the side lanes. The question is, can Mint, let's say they do, well, they do have the 3 Grubs. If they get the 6, can they get themselves back into a good spot where they can actually start to hit those towers? Because if they fall too far behind, then Grubs are kind of just a little bit fake at that point.
They are indeed, and Nasus is going to be probably the greatest threat when it comes to having 6 grubs, and at the moment, Nasus is doing just fine. We don't know what the stacks remaining are like, but hasn't died in the lane, looks quite comfortable, does still have Ghost available, so isn't really feeling the pressure of that. Is getting assistance from the bot lane as well, so they are offering resources as well to the Nasus. Also, I want to point out, we are going to see an on-hit Varus this game, which I am a lot happier to see in a game where you have the true damage from Corki. You won't be able to poke them out that well, and they have so much damage to trade back with that if you don't blow them up, maybe just going Bork and staying healthy, but we're seeing the ult from Pantheon to drop the spear, and it's all done.
Wow. Before we could even, before I could even react, it's gone. We also seen a kill bot side as well. It's Gecko getting another one and shutting down Bubster. That's 0-2 on this Varus now. Corki with a 15 CS lead, or roughly 50. It's actually 20 CS now, and the kill, and the plates. You know, I said at the beginning of this draft that whoever bot lane gets ahead is definitely going to be happier because these are two bot laners who can absolutely go when they get the gold here. Gecko is absolutely stuffed right now. Gold all over the place. Chests overflowing. Vertigo's going to try and do something, but you just can't catch him. Going to be a nuisance and cancel the backs. But the Stasis bot lane is absolutely loving their state right now.
Yeah, it is the power of the Corki. There is so much burst damage available, and you add Karma onto that, and the Mantra Q into that Phosphorus Bomb, and suddenly all your health will disappear. Varus will be rushing into that Bork, trying to stay healthy in that lane, but if you get burst, no healing will save you there. Yeah, we're going to get a quick replay to see exactly what happened, but it has to be a Mantra Q straight into a Phosphorus, right?
That's what it looks like. Yeah. Well, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah, no flash. It's hard to get out of that. The damage is crazy from the Corki.
Yeah, it's that Phosphorus Bomb Mantra Q combo, and like if you stay in the second half of it as well, you're just going to go down. The biggest thing though we have to say is that the wasted barrier that you pointed out earlier when we saw Jerry X come down, barrier there probably would have saved the Varus, and it's those little things that mean the difference in these lanes between getting to that item spike around the same time or just not quite ever getting there and just being bullied because of it.
Yeah, it kind of shows you the small little mistakes, though they might seem kind of harmless. They do have those implications later on. So it's a good thing that you did actually point that out. That's interesting. And now Stasis, again, talking about kind of before the series started, if you took a look at the records of these teams, you would think that Mint might be in the position that Stasis is in right now, although they're kind of taking it to them. And let's see what they can do now. They got 3 kills on their Pantheon, has a full Sundered Sky at the 10-minute mark. They are rotating their bot lane to the top side for this Grubs to prevent the 3 from going down for Mint. Can they continue this pressure and actually just start to run away with this game? They're at a point where they could basically, if played right, can just kind of snowball this into a game 1 win. But we'll see. Again, a whole lot of stuff goes down on the Rift, and we'll see what Min can do to get back.
Very early to be calling snowballs at 10 minutes, but you're dead right. That can happen, and as we see, both teams are now rotating up towards the top side.
Vertigo in with the Cyclone, and they're going on to Marcotte. They're throwing the whole kitchen sink at this Karma. They're going to get him, but the question is, can they get out immediately after? Rooted up with the Chains of Corruption is the Pantheon, who's going to use the E ability to stay alive, but in comes Havoc. Taunt onto 2, the Realm Warp to boot as well. Now Mags is joining the party. Everyone from Mint is in retreat. Anti-force to use the flash to get away. Akira also going to jump out, but here comes the re-engage on the backside, and it's actually Mint that's coming out on top of this. The Nasus will fall. Vertigo still in the back line, and now Geico, half HP, flashing forward. There's so many low health bars here from the side of Mint, but it's going to be almost a full ace for Stasis. Pandemonium in the river. 3 kills go to the Corki, but the Grubs might just go Mint's way.
Jerry isn't leaving. Jerry's staying. Jerry might be ulting this.
Oh, he absolutely is. Here comes the Grand Skyfall. The Pantheon wants more. He's going to jump right on it. He's going to block some damage. Get the shutdown onto Akira. Now Vertigo in a 1 versus 3. Can he finish off the Pantheon? The shields from the Karma aren't quite enough, but the retake is good. Now, you know, the Nasus is in the area. Fortnite is around, but only has a E ability to use, and the Grubs will go the way of Stasis.
That was a Smolder. Smolder is not in this game. I'm glad to see that the issues stay the same no matter what production team we're on. But yeah, massive fight. A lot of gold shutdown going over as well to Vertigo there in the very end, with him picking up 600 gold from that kill onto the Pantheon. So although they only got 1 of the 3 Grubs, they stopped the mark going through for that objective for the feat. They also managed to pick up a lot of kills. Just Jerry with the re-engage, using the Karma as their support and saying, no, you're sticking with me now, Corki. You can go back to bot lane yourselves. Really good work to pick it up in the end. 2 Grubs to 4. Mint still in a good position, but there's a Drake up. You've used so much just to acquire those 2 Grubs. I don't think this is a fight you're going to be able to even think about.
They are getting the Drake for now. They have to go quickly, though, and Anti's been found. Jerry and Geico are here. The smite goes down. Vertigo and Anti, oh, they're pretty mobile champions. They can get over the wall and escape. Hextech Drake goes to Mint. I think you're right there. Yeah, I mean, 3,000 gold lead at the 13-minute mark for Stasis is huge. And the fact that you can still get neutral objectives while being down on that deficit is going to be nice. Now, one of the big winners here from the side of Mint in that last fight was Akira. 3-1 on the Aurora. We talked about the burst damage of this champion, and there is also a very fed Corki. So the Aurora later on could be the big person to knock him down, but a Chains of Corruption plus a quickness plus a Wukong on top of it. Hey, that's pretty good too. Bubster grabs the kill. Geico too far forward. They shut down the Corki.
Shutdown cleanse was used in that big skirmish in the top side. Pantheon now hovering around the top side. Doesn't have the ult available, and there is enough wards there to cover, but it looks like it's going to be an all-in coming in from Galio. This could be a kill in itself.
Oh, wow. The damage is incredible here from Havoc. That's insane. The Hollowed Radiance is an item, and Jerry says, thank you very much. The alley-oop is there. Pantheon gets his 5th.
Yeah, that was disrespectful. You should have left that one for Galio. Come on, Galio's starving up there for a couple of kills with those 4 assists. You already have 5 kills. You could leave 1, but no, great spear, great toss. As it will this time go over to Vertigo. He will win that mini smite fight on the Gromp. But yeah, we kind of have to take stock of things so far, because a lot has happened very, very quickly. And I think we need to just reel it back in for a second and say, from lane to lane, although Akira just died there, still very strong in that top side, has that Leandries, will be able to do a little bit more to Galio as the game goes on, but that Hollow Radiance, you saw what it could do there. Doesn't take any damage, is just clearing waves insanely fast, and we start to see that Galio move around the map. It's going to be very hard to kill them with their current low damage. In the jungle, Jerry's running the game. Let's be honest. Vertigo might have got a couple of good picks and team fights, but Jerry's running it right now. And then in the mid lane, we haven't seen enough of them, I don't think. Do you want to kind of speak about that a little bit with these double scaling mids?
Yeah, it's been kind of slow from them, especially here from Fortnite. I mean, it's kind of expected with the Nasus, and that kind of brings us back to our point about the fact that Nasus just didn't really seem like a kind of pick that kind of fit in this composition. They wanted maybe some more engage. They wanted something that could follow everything up, like a Yone or something. I don't really know, but the Nasus, yeah, it's a little bit odd. 273 stacks. That's actually decent. I mean, around the 300 mark, around 15, that's good. And we'll see, though. Can Fortnite, this is the kind of thing. We get lulled into a sleep here with the Nasus. We kind of write it off. All of a sudden, it's 25 minutes. He's got 600 stacks. He's running these fights. So, maybe Mint can find this little pick up their sleeves. They can find a Wither onto Geico in a fight later on and get some value here. But so far, yeah, it really hasn't been. Fortnite hasn't been able to find a whole lot, but has been quietly ramping up. We'll see if they can get to that big dog status.
Yeah, and then we got to talk about this bot lane, the Varus and the Corki, but never mind, the taunt comes in. Galio will step back, though, and Jerry says, nope, we're going.
Really far up. Grand entrance to try and escape. Now, Jerry stepped pretty far. There's a Chains of Corruption. He's got no invulnerability, and he's just going to go down. Akira is going to grab that kill. It looks like the heroic entrance as well was canceled. Now, Havoc has no backline to protect him. The Galio is going to go down. This is the moment for Mint, but Geico is hitting in the backside. 2 kills. Go over to Bubster. Now the Corki's hit with the Wither. Nowhere to run. Tries to trade one back, but Anti escapes. 3 kills to the Varus. The Rise should follow as well. Fortnite trying to take the tower. The last kickback there from the Aurora will get the full ace for Mint. Stasis fly too close to the sun.
Yeah, Pantheon, kind of a miscommunication there. Galio steps back, Pantheon goes forward, gets blown up by everything landing from Chains of Corruption, Aurora, everything landed, and then Jerry being probably the strongest member of the team going down first. TP in from the back from Fortnite. You're not escaping anymore, and Pantheon cannot save you. Not using that ult to do the engage, just running at them. You've got to play a little bit calmer when you have a combo like Galio, Pantheon, and a Rise. It kind of felt rushed. It felt like everyone wasn't on the same page and everything fell apart. But look, they still have a slight goal lead. They might have lost a Rift Herald off the other side of that, but they've got the tower, they've got the Feet of Warfare, they have the unlocked boots, they'll have that little bit of extra scaling in the back pocket, and they'll feel good about that. But Mint, in those teamfight scenarios, are looking very strong already.
Yeah, it's like, you don't have that real big front line. Now the Galio is building a little bit of that split damage. So even Pantheon, with that damage reduction, they have a hard time kind of standing in the face of Mint because no one can tank for a whole lot of time. So they do have to pick their engages nicely. They have to just jump on in, one-shot someone almost immediately, really pick their targets, layer it all down, and then go from there. Just didn't happen in that last fight. Now we got a Dragon. It's control of the bush here and the river for Mint Superior, but it will be Stasis to grab a little bit of this mid prio. So it's very tense around this mid lane, and it is Havoc topside just wrecking house on that tier 2. The macro game thus far from Stasis looks pretty good. and they are going to get the mid tower on top of this as well. It looks like Anti's just stepped way too far forward. It is just going to die in Stasis. They're able to get one back.
Yeah, the immediate pings onto the Drake thereafter. We will see Vertigo step off of that one. They want this Drake, they want this Soul and Cloud on a team like this. Could be very important, but Cloud on the side of Mint with a Nasus and a Rakan and a Wukong, you don't want to give that over. Drakes have to be a hard focus. If you've got to give up a Baron, give up the Baron. Just do it, because Cloud on a Nasus, upgraded Cloud as well, that is the nastiest thing you can see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Fury of the Sands, he runs at you, you know, your Geico or your Mags, and you get the Wither dropped on you. There is no outrunning that Nasus. It is, you know, you might as well just stand still at that point. It may as well just be a Morgana route, because there really is no escaping that. That's actually a fantastic point that you make. Not a lot of games do we kind of say, oh my gosh, Cloud Soul, like this is the soul, right? We think about the Infernal Souls and the Mountain Souls. Someone's going to be unkillable. But this is a great game for Cloud. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be, yeah, it'll be interesting. Two Drakes over to Stasis, and in 10 minutes time, if they do actually have, you know, the good setups, they get those 2 Drakes, could be staring down the barrel of a Soul. This game has gone pretty fast paced so far, so who knows what we're going to see in the next couple of minutes waiting around those Drakes.
Nasus with full Cloud Soul and full build and a Wither could probably tag you in the middle of the lane, direct center of the map, go and touch your Nexus and come all the way back, and you'd still be withered and he'd still be able to catch you. It's insane how strong it is on a champion like this. But let's see what the plan is now from both sides, because Stasis know those team fights are not really working. We need to find picks, and they're well able to do it, but they have to be careful of when they choose to and what vision control they have. Where is everyone? They have to be ready for each of those moments. While on the other side right now, Mint's like, we just want to fight them. We'll find as many of them as we can, and we will bunch into a corner. And Akira, maybe you don't want to be the one to get picked off here, because that bounce house will not get you out from a Pantheon.
No, it will not. There's a lot of CC that they can layer onto this Aurora, as Fortnite is just going to charge on forward. Again, Phase Rush pretty good into an ability like Wither. So, well, Mags is going to be able to kite him for a good amount of time. We're just going for this, though. Fury of the Sands is going to be used. He's going to press Q. What the hell? That just annihilated his HP. That was like a whole 1/3. Thankfully, Jerry is here. The healing is good, though, on these siphoning strikes. I think Jerry is going to win this one, though. There is the spears and the auto attack to make it a 1-for-1. But there is a little bit of a teaser for a Satyr of what this Nasus can do. Was able to just close the gap on a Phase Rush rise.
Close the gap, but more importantly, it was just like there was a little bit of help there, and we were like, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 more Qs and we'll start to see that lethal range. And I was like, oh, they're gone. Oh my god, they were gone. So I'd love a quick stat check if we can just see what the stacks are at now, because that has to be 450, right? It has to be around that range, because that is insane damage. And also the Frozen Heart coming through, so we're not going to see a full damage coming through from the Nasus. It will be tanky, it will be surviving, and it will stop you from hitting it back.
It is pretty good for ability haste, although the actual item itself, yeah, crazy.
Nearly
stats.
dead on.
You gotta know your stuff here, Satyr, with the whole Nasus timings and everything, or maybe you just got that. I don't know. That was really profit-like of you. Yeah, exactly. You got that dog, and you heard it here first. You know, 3 broadcasts in 1 week. It's not slowing you down, is it? You're kind of just that guy, or I guess we could say that
sleep
dog.
Anymore.
Yeah, I mean, who needs sleep when you got Titan broadcast to do? This is our workhorse of the whole production team, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting it firsthand here in this best of 3. We got a Herald spawn. This is going topside. You know, they already cracked the mid lane, so I guess cracking top lane would be the option here. But there's not a lot of people around this Herald. This kind of feels like this kind of fell to the wayside and wasn't used to its full potential.
No, but they're also dragging so many numbers towards that top side, where if you could take a fight here with that TP on the Nasus available as well, if you can take a fight here, Akatan looks very juicy, but if you drag everyone top, he's also going to cause so much down in the bot side, because Ryze just isn't at that level yet, and Nasus knows if they step out of range and come into my range, I'm killing them. So the pressure being afforded to the Nasus on that side lane right now is tremendous. And then on the top side, they're slowly whittling away at the, do you want to fight us? Because we will take this Akatan if you lose. And if you don't fight us, Nasus will get more stacks and more time. So they're playing to their strengths a little bit here with that Nasus side lane, knowing that you can't leave the Ryze there if you want to win a fight. If we leave the Ryze there and Nasus kills them, we also lose the fight. They're playing mind games right now, mate. I think they're calling this out and saying, we have time to play with. Let's scale. Let's get that third item onto the Varus. Let's get Terminus completed, maybe. We'll start looking towards Asterix onto Wukong, make them unkillable. Nasus just is going to keep getting stronger. Aurora really does need 3 to 4 items to get that, oh my god, I'm going to kill someone. The more time they're afforded, the better, I think, here. I think they outscale hard in that late game.
They absolutely do, and you can see kind of the urgency of Stasis right now. They're getting good vision set up around the Drake. Again, this would put them onto Soul Point. We've already talked about how good a Cloud Drake, or rather a Cloud Soul, would be for both of these teams, and it's going to be started up. Stasis is onto this. Fortnite's in the area. The entirety of Mint is in the area. Havoc is trying to keep the rest of Mint at bay, but this fight is certainly going to break out here soon. Now here comes the engage. They're onto Anti. That's a 3-person taunt as well. Between Worlds is also used in the backline. The Cyclone goes in as Gecko gets the first kill onto the Rakan. Going back in to the backline, and now it will be Bubster that's CC'd up. It looks like the health bars here from the side of Stasis are all alive. The Karma is keeping everyone alive. Bubster wasn't able to deal the damage. The Drake will go over to the side of Stasis. The fight will go over to Stasis, and they hold their ground here in this mid-game play.
And you know a team fight goes well for the side of Stasis if Cleanse is still available for that Corki free firing, and that's the one threat to that Nasus. True damage. Doesn't matter how tanky you are, I will get through that. Also, Corki Shred adds more damage on top of that. Everything they needed was perfect there. Geico was protected, and that's all you need. So we can see here, as soon as this fight goes to start up, they start playing this out. Signa goes in, stops anyone from getting to the Corki, and now look at Corki still sitting in the bush, sees the Aurora. Marcos like, right, have to protect Corki. Redemption drops, healing drops, everything's there. You see 1 kill already. Rakan, look at this Nasus now, just going to die. Double kill picked up. Corki just free firing on the back. Does go down to half health. But look at all those shields. No one's able to get that Serpents yet. Might have to be the next option coming through here, and no one going down. Karma's a broken champion.
Yeah, it's really effective in this one. The Moonstone and the Redemption doing work here. I also want to point out, Anti wasn't really able to get anything off. They got engaged on first, and that is the best way to counter a Rakan. Part of the reason why a lot of CC champs are considered Rakan counters, because if Rakan can't move and just dies instantaneously, then he can't do a lot of what he wants to do, which is CC the enemy team. And we talked a little bit earlier about Stasis wanting to get those quick picks off. Well, they completely evaporated Anti's health bar, and then there wasn't a lot of follow-up engage. It was a good, pretty decent flank from the side of the Aurora, but they weren't able to get a whole lot from it. Fortnite now is in a precarious position. Spots out 3, but the rest of the squad is around, and this Ruinous Otacon is available still here, Satyr. We're seeing, with the most recent patch, a whole lot more Ruinous Otacons in games.
We are indeed, and it is going to keep getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on. I think Riot are putting a lot more resources into this objective over the likes of Barons and Elders, especially with its spawn timer and how effective it can be depending on everything else around it. I also love the fact that Nasus walked into the river knowing 3 people were there and they started barking at them and they all ran off. It was just true Nasus style, but 570 stacks now. I didn't expect that many stacks this early. I said 600 at like the 30-minute mark would be exceptional, and it would be really good in a game where there is so much ranged pressure from the likes of Rise and Corki, but it's just free farming, free stacking, and we see those tanky stats continuing to appear on the item bar. It's going to be incredibly hard to kill it, and it's going to hit like a truck.
If he does get the time of day, then Fortnite is going to tear through health bars. And it's going to be down to Stasis to, again, similar to the last fight we saw around the Drake, get the good conditions in a fight where you can just protect your backline. And like you said, Satyr, the true damage of the Corki can just shred through him. If he's getting hit from afar and he's not in range, doesn't matter how many stacks he has, he could have a whole 1,000,000 stacks. He's not going to be able to do a whole lot. So Fortnite needs to find these creative ways to get in range, find some flanks. You might find Mags here, who is level 16, and they're going to kind of spot each other out now. We got like a little bit of the Western stare down here. Phase Rush is going to be procced, and the Wither is going to go away quite quickly. But now Fortnite probably sees his opportunity. There's no more Phase Rush here for you anymore, but here comes the Realm Warp. That's going to bring him to safety. No hard CC for Fortnite to cancel that, and that 1 versus 1 will end in a draw.
It'll end in a draw. Ult for ult. Only one summoner used as well from Nasus, but on the top side, Galio looks like he's in a bit of trouble.
They're TPing behind this, though. Mint has to be careful. Vertigo goes in with the second Cyclone. They're actually not willing to finish off the Galio here. It's actually going to be Mags to join the party. Anti is here as well. Akira is going so very low. The Otacon's getting involved. Everyone is hopping in, and the Otacon's actually doing so much damage to Mags as Anti jumps in. This is only a level 9 Rakan, though. He gets blown up immediately as here comes the combination Starfall. Heroic entrance. Fortnite is gone. Bubster in retreat has to use the flash to get away from the missile barrage, but it is going to be Mags in pursuit. 2 for 0 for Stasis. They might just be looking at this Otacon next, or the Baron.
Yeah, they have 2 objectives on the top side available to them. They're 1 away from Soul, so I think possibly going for Otacon would have been better, but Jerry's deciding to fight.
Jerry's going really far forward here. He does have to be careful. He's going to use the flash. They don't feel they have the strength to take this Baron just yet. They really want to force them out of here, and they're going to do so.
Going to go for the Baron here. I really would have opted into the Otacon myself, but they know what they're doing. They've got this idea in their head that they need the Baron to maybe open up the base a little bit more, get some more control in that side lane for the likes of the Rise into that Nasus matchup. And yeah, full reset straight off Otacon. They have the vision as well to see what's happening next. We also have the Drake coming up in 10 seconds, so faster recall from Baron. Get down there as fast as possible. This game it's on a knife's edge. Like, one big team fight and either team could spring themselves back to even, or if Stasis win it, they could nearly end the game with that Baron now available, but Drake's health bar is falling. Jerry X has no ult to get in, but he's going to run forward. It will be picked up quite easily here by Mint, but the fight...
They get out is the question. Anti, yeah, they all get out. So they got a whole lot of dashes. They can do that. And honestly here, Satyr, I thought maybe the better play for Stasis, because they weren't going to get to that Drake pit in time for the actual fight, was just take the Otacon and mind game it there. They might have been able to get Ruinous Otacon on top of that if they actually decided to, but they are going to be able to get some good damage on this tier 2. They got a Baron buff, and with just 2 people here, Vertigo and Anti, there's no real way to kind of stop this from happening. It does feel like Mint's game to win right now and Stasis's game to lose. They are up 6,000 gold. They might be looking to make a play here onto Fortnite. If the whole face check's just going to come in from Mags, and there's the phase rush. Can't outrun that Wither for the moment, but now he's got friends. Jerry's here with the Grand Starfall, rather. And my gosh, that Nasus gets a bit of a taste of his own medicine, because this Corki 3.5 items absolutely hurts.
Yeah, that true damage, LDR, Triforce, Sheen procs, Manamune. And then also in the background, it's just a BF sword ready to go. That is a lot of pure AD and pen available to that Corki, and never even getting onto the true damage multipliers that happen from Corki. But on the other side, they are getting that bot tower. So Baron so far is traded tower for tower, but Otacon has been picked up here for Stasis. So yeah, they have a minute left on this Baron. They're definitely going to be able to force more towers in with that bonus buff that comes from Ruinous. Everything seems up for Stasis right now, but we've seen them throw when they were in the lead before with maybe overzealous engages is the best way to put it, where they made small mistakes that led to catastrophic errors. So it's still on Mint to find something.
One of those right here on cue. You know what, Mags? Yeah, you're in some trouble right now. Doesn't have flash. Can do a good amount of damage before he falls. Almost takes down Anti as well, but the shutdown goes to the Varus. 3 items here for Bubster, and has a amplifying tome in his inventory right now too, which likely means he's gonna go for something like a Zanya's Hourglass, which is interesting. That actually might be enough to survive. And again, Varus actually does benefit from some AP damage with his W. Execute damage, so that is pretty nice.
With his everything scales with mana.
He is just a champion, one of the champions of all time. So
it's like the champion for Varus for me when I explain it to people when you're playing ADC is like you could grab anything from the shop and it'd work, any item at all. You could reach into a dustbin, pull out anything and it'll be fine. It's Varus. You just have to hit them. That's it. And it is one of those champions that is incredibly fun to play, but its greatest weakness is probably its greatest strength. It's immobility, because yes, you can lock them down, but you're so susceptible, you're so slow, and on the other side, you're so in trouble here, Aurora.
Oh my goodness. Hey, well, these are tanky champions in Season 15 right now, as Havoc is just whooping Akira right now. They do have the flank. Can Akira survive is the question. Havoc is down to half HP. Gonna try and use the Chains of Corruption to save him. He's going to go golden, but there's no reinforcements anywhere nearby. It's only going to delay the inevitable and allow the rest of the team to push up the mid lane.
Yeah, as we do see in the top side, Nasus and Ryze are locked into that 1v1 as we've seen all game, but they're opening the base, they're taking inhibitors, and with nothing else on the map for another minute and a half, this is just the story of the game. They're going to be able to open up the base easily enough there. Good catch, good response, but that 1v1 between Galio and Aurora just shows how broken tanks can be when you're 5-2 on Aurora, losing to a 0-4 Galio.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And you know who else is getting the treatment right now is Fortnite. He just wants that 1v1, but he can't catch the Ryze. And there's 3 people showing up in his lane. And honestly, Stasis have done a really good job of using, kind of working around as a team, moving around, getting kills, getting objectives, being pretty proactive. And take a look at that Corki build. Oh boy, tactical nuke is inbound. That's no rapid fire cannon. That is just as much AD and armor pen as possible. Geico is very much online and is saying, guys, it's time to fight.
Yeah, 100%. This is Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby at this stage, and NASA sadly is the Coughing Baby. 1-7, and stacks be damned, Corki's still that strong that you look that weak, and that can be a problem for them. Like right now, a lot of their damage is coming from the Varus, but Varus is not being afforded the time to free fire, get those arrows piercing through the team. And as much as I do love the on-hit build, you're not getting time to actually get those hits on hit. You're just getting forced back constantly. There's something in your face that's making you not get onto priority targets. And with that, this last Drake coming up, do they have the ability to contest this? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Vertigo's going to have to make a run for it. Havoc's doing a good job of keeping him at bay, and there goes the soul. It goes down. No chance for Mint to even get in range. Stasis runs for the hills. They might try and regroup, or they might try and fight as Anti's been found on. Anti's kind of separated from the rest of the team. Havoc's just jumping right on into a bush. And this Ryze is just absolutely tearing him apart. Anti thought about going back in. I don't think you want to do that, sitting at 1/10 HP. We got to fight on the other side, though. Someone's caught out. It looks like it's a Vertigo going to try and use a Cyclone to keep them safe as Geico just eviscerates Bubster on the top side of your screen, completely incinerates him from reality. And this might just be the time for Stasis to end this game.
Yeah, this is probably it right here, right now. They're able to walk this one in. Retention drop for extra healing. They have the wave slowly coming in behind them. They have the damage to get through this as well. This is like textbook win, as we see all the spirits are appearing from the Aurora as the fight happens. Immediate kill.
Team Worlds is used. Nasus is not long for the world. It's able to tank up for a good amount of time, but not for long enough. The Nexus towers are gone. The Nexus to follow as well. Stasis Gaming Resurgence, maybe surprising a lot of people here with a Game 1 victory over Mint Superior.
Yeah, with a comp that wasn't screaming from the start for me that it's something that they can just tear someone apart with, but there's something about a Corki that will always surprise you with how much damage it can actually do in these scenarios. And Hydrogen Bomb Coughing Baby is the thing that I used previously. Nasus was looking like a big threat in some of these games, and then suddenly just fell apart, just couldn't do anything in those later stages, couldn't get to the target. And yeah, big credit over to is it Geico or Gecko? Because it's felt like Geico.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I've casted this player before. I can't remember which leagues. I think it might have been in previous Titan leagues or somewhere else, but I have a hard time with it. We could get confirmation, but for the moment, I'll just call it. Yeah, it does look like Geico, so I'll just say Geico.
That's an insurance company in America, isn't it?
It is 15% or more. Everyone knows it. I'm not even sponsored.
See, I don't because I'm EU, so I just know it from one ad with a gecko. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's talk about this for a couple more seconds before we cut to a break. SG and Mint. Mint were coming in as favorites. SG have completely abolished that in one game. They look incredibly strong into this. Mint, what have they done previously if they've lost a game? Because we've seen a couple of their losses. Have you seen a kind of resurgence or something that makes them come back into games that much easier?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they weren't really able to get anything going there for themselves. And I'll remind you as well, for the people watching, Mags last picked that Ryze. And so it was, Fortnite who had a hard time closing the gap on that Ryze, getting the value that he wanted in a side lane. That counter pick, although I thought of it in more of the sense where Mags would actually stomp the Nasus in lane, more so, it was kind of like Mags was just kind of saying, you can split push, you can stack as much as you want, but you're not going to be able to hit the towers. You're not going to be able to catch me. you're not going to be that useful either. So it kind of felt, yeah, it felt out of place. We were worried about the Nasus pick, and I wouldn't say it was the only reason why Min Superior fell short in that game, but barring that one misplay around the early game where they did jump too far forward, Jerry X getting like one shot immediately in the fight, it really did seem like Stasis Gaming, they were in control, and they've had a really impressive start to this series. Again, the team that's 2-2 in the standings, the team that people might perceive as the underdog, having themselves a great game, and they're one win away from, I guess, pulling off this on paper upset. Will they be able to actually perform the 2-0, or will Min Superior come back and force us to a game 3? We'll find that out after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. We return with Min Superior versus Stasis Gaming Resurgence after this. Welcome back to the Titan Immortal League. And Stasis Gaming Resurgence versus Mid Superior is one game into their series, with Stasis Gaming grabbing the win, a relatively emphatic win with that as well. So they're up 1-0. Mid Superior backs against the wall. One of the better teams here based off of record. And Titan Immortal, we'll see how they respond. And I mean, Stasis, they had some solid picks. Jerry and Geico played like absolute beasts, Sater.
Yeah, Jerry's incredible aggression kind of clued in there with the true damage from Geico, just eliminating people left, right, and center, no matter how tanky they were. And considering their best tank was a Nasus, and everything else kind of fell apart from that point, with the Aurora not quite getting the time that she needed. Same with the Varus. Everything kind of just fell to the wayside very, very quickly. Couple of mistakes. They didn't play a perfect game, but they immediately recognized the Drake situation. You don't want to give over any Cloud Souls to a Nasus. Little things like that. They played the game exceptionally well, but the best thing is it's fearless, Varus. So all these champions have been eliminated, and we're going to see a big change coming through in Mint. They've got to change it fast.
They absolutely do. Before we see what those changes are going to be, we got another episode of KMK. That is Kiss, Marry, Kill. And you know what? Golden was insistent on a Hecarim episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're going to get. Sater.
It's been three in a row. 3 Faris. I've done 3 Hecarim nights in a row. I'm fed up with horses.
For the Immortal, yeah, I guess the Immortal exclusives, if there's any out there, then this is their first time. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. For you, Sater, yeah, you're kind of sick of this at this point. But give us, let the Immortal exclusive here, let them pick your brain a little bit. What's going on with these picks of yours?
So I actually wanted to kill 2. I wasn't allowed to. Golden ended up picking them for me, but I wanted to kill Prime because it's base Hecarim. No one really likes base Hecarim. There's a slew of amazing kills and skins. Sorry, not kills. Skins available for Hecarim, and Reaper is probably one of the worst ones. It is just not a great looking skin. I really hope they get an update for that one. Well, Winter Blessed, yes, it is decent, but it doesn't really. It's not really like a Judgment Day kind of horrible horse, like Fort Horseman kind of thing running at you and killing you. None of them were worth marrying, I don't think. We've had some other amazing ones come true, like Arcade. I would marry Arcade in a second, as I did on the other nights, because you want to play someone that you can play games with, you know? Nice and simple. You want to marry someone like that. But yeah, these ones, just Winter Bless was the best option out of these, I think.
Well, you see, you got that mindset. I got kind of the opposite here. I'm messing with the old school vibes here. I'm marrying the OG, the Hecarim, the base skin, and, you know, I'm kind of keeping the old alive and not really vibing with the whole new stuff here. Winter Blessed is getting my kill, and I guess I'm marrying Prime Hecarim then if I'm going off this logic, because classic skin Hecarim is the OG Hecarim. This is the oldest skin, I guess, that he has, because it was the first one. And then Reaper, newer, or I guess older rather.
That splash is still new. They updated the splash, but they never updated the Reaper splash. So it's not even OG, it's like mixed OG. It's like HD remix 4K.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's just like none of these scream to me as like, this is the person I want to be with for the rest of my life, you know?
Yeah, well, that's fair. They are kind of spooky horses, so unless you're really into that kind of stuff, then, you know, that might be the pick for you. I also just realized now that background is horses running in a field. You know, my first glance, I was looking at the pictures in the front, and I didn't really look at the pictures in the back. I low-key thought that was just like golden water or something. I thought it was water behind it, and it was like some type of background, but it's horses. Keeping with the whole theme, we really went all out this week, didn't we?
Yeah, it's the horse week coming in from Golden, one of our amazing production staff that has screamed at me all week about horses, and I've had to do it 3 times. But we are going to jump straight into draft here, and I'm not expecting too many changes coming through into these bans, as most teams in Fearless kind of stick to their bans or say, we'll just get rid of these and we'll use the rest of them. So Viego and Bessa, I'm trying to remember what the other ones were, because I always forget bans now. I'm always like picks, Fearless picks. But I'm trying to remember what the other ones were. Skarner was taken, Yasuo.
I think Lilia was another.
Lilia. No ADCs. That was the thing that stood out to me the most, was there was no ADC bans. And with Jinx, Kalista, even Caitlyn, Ezreal, all those still being available, it's been a bit dry on the bot side here. I'm looking for a little bit of sauce, a bit of spice coming through, something interesting.
Yeah, we got the game one fearless picks out of the way. It's the Corki, it's the Varus. Unless we get something like Ashe Ezreal in this game, then we might be out of luck in that regard. But Geico is a Caitlyn player, so that could be spicy. Again, might be something that they decide to counter. They also have some Ashe games here. Weeping Bubs, oh no. I gotta stop talking. I predicted the Varus last time. Now I'm don't pick Ezreal. I'm saying nothing about Ezreal. No Ezreal. We don't want that. No, we want interaction in our bot lane. No.
Yeah, you deserve it. You fully deserve it. You fully deserved it. You actually cursed us. Yeah, so
man.
we're gonna see like Braum come into this one as well. We're just gonna have neutral bot lanes for the entire course of this one. But it's actually gonna be an Orianna coming into the mid lane. A control mage I haven't actually seen in quite a bit, as people have been opting into the Mel's ways and the likes of. But it is nice to see something from Arcane at least.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're gonna get so we got the Orianna, we got the Maokai as well. Now this is on Mint's side, and Akira is a Maokai player. This is not something that strikes me as a Vertigo champion. So this is kind of, to me, and maybe if Stasis had done their homework here, kind of screaming to them, okay, this is a topside pick. Maybe they can get away with their topside pick here on R3. And that's what they're going to do.
Okay.
They're going to go with the Cassante. We talked about it a little bit during the break. You know, the presence of Garen kind of makes a blind Cassante really, really scary. But they're confident enough that it is going to go up into that Maokai. We're going to get that double tank there. And Havoc, a very good Cassante player, has played it 3 times here. So this is comfort for Stasis.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind seeing them flex that Maokai into the jungle now and take the Garen, but I'm not sure there's any EU lovers here, as I consider I get into arguments a lot about NA versus EU with most of the production staff. But if they do flex that in and take the Garen, they still have really good setup. It's just you're leaving your last pick then to your support, and right now the support pool is getting pinched. You're taking away the Lulu. Braum is probably the best option with the Ashe. Maybe if you want to go something extra spicy, you go for a Taric, and it just unlocks so many more possibilities for team fights. And I do love a Taric in this current meta, but we are going to see a horse. So Golden's probably going to start screaming in our ears in about 2 to 3 minutes, but it all comes down to what skin is selected, right?
Yeah, honestly. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, there it is. Yo, we are actually prophets on the desk today. We're predicting things left, right, and center. And honestly, it didn't seem like Stasis were prepared for that. And that is going to be the Garen going into the hands of
Another
Akira.
horse. Another
try
horse.
and get their hands. Yeah, another lady on a horse. This is crazy. We're following up with the themes. So things are going, I guess, pretty well as far as themes go. I mean, the teams as well are kind of following up with the whole memo here. But this will be really interesting. Jerry X on Hecarim during Hecarim week. This guy had a great game on the Pantheon. This guy is a carry player, and Hecarim is feast or famine, sink or swim. You fall behind on this champion, you provide quite literally nothing but damage and a fear on your ultimate. So this has to be the Jerry X show, and we'll see if the Stasis team can actually help the Hecarim maybe go for invades, try and steal away camps, try and run over this Maokai. A little bit of a mismatch in that sort of sense in the jungle.
Yeah, I kind of just, I was watching Dantes earlier play Hecarim, because it is one of those things you just like to tune in sometimes to see what level of degeneracy he's at. And he's quite high this time. He's really, really screaming, and it is enjoyable to watch a Hecarim run around the map and screaming. But I'm wondering if we're going to see that like Axiom Arc Spirit Shojin build coming true from the Hecarim, which has been incredibly strong and cheap, is probably the best way to put it. It's such a cheap build. So really looking forward to seeing what Jerry X is going to go for on that Hecarim. But it's that top lane that we spoke about. We literally spoke about power creep, older champions, true damage, and executes. Cassante is one of the worst receivers of that, as when you ult, you go lower on HP. Garen says, all right, cool, let me kill you real quick. It's that simple, and Garen can run a game, can take it over. But this invade, as we do have, Rel, disconnect, reconnect, the usual. Don't worry about that. Every support does a TES and ADC, and you get that little bubble in your chest like, oh my god, it's over. But we're going to see what Jerry X wants to do here, as they do clear out the vision on that ward. They're going to step back, and are they actually going to stick around for this invade?
Well, it looks like Mags is being annoying and canceling Anti's back. And, well, the recalls from Bubster came through. Going to make his way back to the bot lane. Looks like the Rel's going to follow suit. So the answer is no. They did get some vision, though. They are going to have eyes on Jerry X right now and are going to know that he's going to start his Raptor camp. So there's some information. On the other side, there is a ward on sort of that Raptor area here for Stasis. So they're also going to know Vertigo is likely starting on that top side as well. So both teams in the know of what these junglers are doing. I also noticed that Akira did take the teleport instead of the ignite. Sometimes Garen players go full psycho. They rock the ignite. They say, you know, I'm killing you or I'm trolling my entire team without having any map pressure. So let's go to town. It is going to be the teleport, Garen. So a little bit more team play invested here with this one.
Yeah, very invested in this top side. I'm going to say that one really quickly because I really want to watch some of that. But right now, this bot lane, it's one of those lanes where Ezreal's going to be so comfortable as long as they are under tower. As long as you can keep that Ashe and Rel under the tower, you will feel safe. Maokai doesn't have the greatest kind of entrance into that bot side, as when you're on blue side, it's a little bit harder to gank as a jungler if you can't get into that tri-bush behind them and get a flank off. And as we see, here comes the Garen Cassante matchup. So far, Cassante looking pretty strong here.
Well, Havoc lands the Q3, and Akira's in trouble. Might have to use Flash, or could just walk it on out. Is he gonna be okay? Oh, he is. Okay. Well, you know what? That's pretty good for the Cassante, although Garen, the nice thing about him is he has that passive that can just heal him right back on up as long as he can stay out of combat there. So he might be okay, but he didn't start any pots here, Satyr, so kind of gonna bite the bullet for that one. You know who else is biting bullets? It's Mags, and that is the Silas damage, ladies and gentlemen. Procs Conqueror, and just sends him home.
Yeah, incredible start there. Orianna, one of those safe mid laners you never expect to go down, so I didn't really want to talk about it too much. I was like, no, it'll be fine in the mid lane. We don't really have to touch on that, but immediately Fortnite says, no, you bullied me last time as the Rise and I lost the game. This game not going to happen. I'm playing Silas and you will be put in the dirt. And they started that one off exceptionally well, as Jerry X will get spotted out by the Hawk shot. They will be taking that bottom scuttle, and Vertigo's on a very, very slow clear here, very far behind.
Yeah, it's 2 whole camps. It is going to get that camp back with the Krug's take. But here's what we expected from the Hecarim was the invade. There's the sweeper trying to find Vertigo, who is on the reset now. But it's a whole camp ahead, and that Scuttle Crab on the top side is still up for grabs. So if Jerry can get there first, can get that double crab, and start pulling ahead here, buys the Lucidity Boots, is going to be a lot faster on the map. There's a lot of different ways you can play Hecarim. You can play super aggressive, or you can just disappear, power farm, show up, level 15 at like 22 minutes, and just run the whole game. Interesting to kind of see which avenue Jerry decides to go for. But thus far, aside from the solo kill in mid, things are going okay for Stasis.
Yeah, Stasis looking solid so far. I expected a lot more pressure coming towards this top side, as now both junglers are on that side of the map. And I'm kind of waiting to see what the story is going to be in terms of ganks. But it looks like Akira currently has a level lead, so they're feeling very comfortable in that top side. And the tier already selected here for the Cassante, which means Fimbulwinter will be making an appearance in at least one lane. But 3 tiers on one side. It's something that we see more often than not now, that if one person's building tier on a team, there's always someone else building it. But 3 tiers, is that too many tiers?
Yeah, they're crying up a river, man. Like, gosh, you guys got a game to play. Quit it with all of this. We'll see how good it is. It's a whole lot of tiers, though. I think you're absolutely right. Maybe a little bit excessive, as we're going to see Anti engaged on the Crashdown. Going to bring him to safety. Arcane shift forward there from Geico. The Bubster are going to try and return a little bit of damage. But again, this is Ashe. This champion doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And for the moment, Ezreal, again, like you said, Satyr, been playing with the other AD carry underneath the tower. They've been having a good time here, farming away.
Yeah, that's the main thing you got to do as Ezreal, is it's easier to poke them when they can't poke you back in under tower. They have to be so focused on picking up that CS that you do get free time on it. But free time on something as Jerry is getting free time on this Drake, no contest. Prio in both lanes at the moment, so knows that they're protected, and Maokai may be looking for a gank mid to further elevate Fortnite's position in that, but...
Oh, they're going onto him. Mags is in a whole lot of trouble. Nice shockwave, but not nice enough. No flash. Fortnite 2-0 is very much set up to start to take over this game, and a nice gank from Vertigo to continue to get that mid laner even farther ahead.
Yeah, and it's going to be similar to what we saw last time around, where we're going to see trades on the Drake versus Grubs situation, while the Grubs will be going to blue side here and giving Garen a little bit more time to get that tower down. Same with Silas, a good bit of pressure there, especially considering both of them have enhanced abilities for taking towers. On the other side, it is the Ezreal, but that's a lot of damage. That's a big dive. That might be a little bit too deep there, Marcotte.
Right in on the tower. Yeah, Marcotte's going to take 2 tower shots and is actually still going to walk it out. That's Ignite committed there from Anti, and then it was the cleanse as well.
Does Ezreal have lethal tempo?
He does. That's another thing, is the lethal tempo Ezreal. I didn't even notice that, but I also forgot about it. It's been making a name for itself. It's been played in the LEC. Han Sama was playing it on G2 and just destroying people with it. The whole idea is your DPS just becomes absolutely unholy on 3 items. That's the whole idea.
Yeah, I guess it buys you time in the case that you do miss a Q and you don't have those cooldowns available. You can continue to auto even more, and with your extended auto kind of passive, you can get a lot more shots off. But yeah, it just feels like a very strange one, as Vertigo and Jerry X will meet. You're 6-5. You should win that. Oh, Fortnite.
Well, he's got to be careful because Fortnite is here. Going to steal the Shadow Assault and go over the wall as well. And Jerry's just gone. Fortnite is just destroying him. This Sylas is unhinged in this game. That wasn't even close. The horse is down. We're not celebrating Horse Week too well, or Fortnite is saying, to hell with Horse Week. I am taking over this game and making sure we're going game 3.
I'd say if the Krugs were there, they were asking whose horse is that coming over the wall, because there was like 10 horses coming over that wall. But yeah, we have to talk about the fact that Feats of War was won solo by the Sylas. All 3 of those kills as Vertigo.
Well, this should just be the freest kill of their life. Boop, R button. And that is Garen, ladies and gentlemen. Akira finds the kill. That's about the easiest dive you could ever pull off if you're Vertigo in that situation. Tri-brush, Nature's Grasp. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's 4-0 now for Mint. Brilliant start. Everything they need here to get themselves off on the right foot. They've got Grubs as well. That Garen will be a problem. And Fortnite is going to be an even bigger problem, as the ults that are available for Sylas in this game. It should be easy. Leona ult to lock people down. Ezreal ult in case you need to chase them and just want to fire a shot off at them. Horses left, right, and center. Everything's kind of looking up right now for Mint. We could be going to a game 3 if they can continue this.
This is a little bit of what we were expecting in game 1. We saw Mint's record. We saw they're a really strong team. This is what we were looking for. Fortnite definitely has some, I guess, pent-up anger from last game. You can imagine playing Nasus, getting outrun by a phase rush rise. All you want to do is use that cane that you've stacked up so many times. You've worked so hard to get it so strong, and you can't even use it. I imagine he's just pent up with rage, and he's taking it out here in this game. And it's only going to get worse, because if you think about side lane implications here, Sater, this Orianna wants nothing to do with that, because it's going to be what we're witnessing right now all day long. Wow, Fortnite has just put him 60 feet down in the dirt. He is so clean on this Sylas right now.
I don't know how to explain what just happened other than Sylas playing at the absolute ceiling. That was the cleanest all-in I've seen from Sylas in a very long time, and maybe you got to change up some of those bans. You've got to start looking at this like, this guy's Sylas is cracked.
Yeah, it's insane. There was no chance for Mags to do anything. It's like things start happening as the Orianna, and you're like, okay, I'm in trouble. I got a flash. I can't press my flash button. He's still killing me. I still can't move. What just happened? I'm dead. It happened so quickly. It was within like 2 to 3 seconds. And as I was saying that, I was talking about the side lane implications. That is what we're going to see. Who is going to hold the Sylas? It's not going to be the Cassante. That's for sure. Havoc is not going to be too happy when Mags goes and says, hey, you mind holding the 4-0 Sylas that me and Jerry have created over here? You can do it, right, Cassante? He's not going to be too happy about that. This guy's going to be a beast in fights. He's going to be beast in solo lanes. The only thing that Stasis can really look forward to is maybe a massive shutdown if they can catch him out.
If they can catch him out, that's the thing. You got to remember if. There's big ifs, but we have to also give credit to SG that they've done it before. They played from a position of obviously increased aggression alongside the Hecarim. Maybe there's still an opportunity for them to do that, as Jerry is just taunting in that bush. Maybe that's not a fight you really want to take, but they're opting in for it.
No, this is not the fight you want to take. Have we not learned our lessons here? This guy is him. I mean, it's a really good arrow as well from Bubster. but there was no one showing on the bot side. So I don't know why they thought they were going for this. And this is starting to get really bad here, Seder, because the Maokai is caught up in farm. The Hecarim has tanked 2 deaths now to the face. So this is extra time for Mint to catch up in the jungle matchup to get these Drakes. Things that Stasis want to get, and they're just not getting them right now. This is looking like a wholehearted stomp right now.
This is looking like it's going to be straight to a game 3. This is one of those games where you have to reset the brain and get yourself ready for game 3, I think. So I feel like they're going to feel the pressure of this game. They know that this game is heavily in favor of Mint, and they're going to be looking for one big opportunity. But that opportunity could reveal itself very, very quickly if Ezreal continues to scale like this. If K'Sante can get into a late game team fight and even drag the Sylas away from a fight, there is always those opportunities available, and these players know what they're doing. They know what they have to do, but mental has to be shot when you see that 6-0.
There is always the danger of having that big bounty on a Silas's head. I'm sure we've all had solo queue games where we've had a really strong Sylas like this, and then some questionable plays are made, and well, all of a sudden the Hecarim has gotten a 1k bounty. I'm assuming this bounty is eventually going to grow to a 1k. It's at 700 right now. But a 1k bounty to someone like a Hecarim, you mentioned the Ezreal, that could also be very massive as well. These are things that Stasis need to look for. If the gold goes on anyone else, even the Orianna, which would be nice, but in this situation, she's kind of more of that utility sort of champion. She just wants the big shockwaves to set up those damage dealers. If they can get that gold, it will be good. They're going to get 3 grubs, the second trio, and that's 6 whole grubs going over to Mint. With this kind of lead, that could mean these towers are dropping like flies. And, well, Jerry, you don't want to go over to your red buff, man. Wise choice to channel the recall.
Yeah, just step away. Do not allow yourself another death in this game. You don't want to be going 0-3. You don't want to be copying Mags right now on the Orianna. But that is now feats completed. That is the extra boots available. And yeah, a great positioning coming through from Mint. This is everywhere you want to be in a game where you're down in a series. You've lost game 1. Coming into game 2, you pick a lot more comfortable champions. You said that Maokai was a top lane pick. They could still flex it. They take the Garen, doing really well on that top side. The Sylas, obviously a comfortable pick from what we've seen from Fortnite. And in the bot lane, it's just a nullifying lane. They know their weak side. They're staying away from all that pressure. And they're just going to play nice, calm, collected. If Ezreal scale, it's fine. We have our Sylas. We know what Fortnite can do with it. And yeah, this is really, really good management coming in from Mint in terms of the draft. They know what they have to do. Playing it to perfection. Where's the win condition for them right now? Just staying safe, but they're going to start this fight off.
We're starting to fight onto the Marcotte right now. Double Shattering Strike is nice. They're going to get 1 kill, but Fortnite is on the flank. Maybe look for a second one. Geico is looking for Bubster, going to try and cleanse away from the CC. Double kill to the Ezreal. All things considered, not too bad. It's Stasis out of position. Fortnite is making these really nice roam plays here, but good on Gecko to kind of, find something out of what looked like a very bad play as Vertigo has found Mags, and this is a Leandri's Torment Maokai. Does a good chunk of damage. And here is Akira as well. Well, that flash isn't going to do a whole lot. R button is incoming. Might not even use it. Didn't even need it. He's spinning, and he's winning. Akira gets their first, or I guess it was Vertigo that got the kill, but Akira gets involved. Jerry's looking for a 1v1 against Fortnite, using the tower to their advantage. That was so close. Could have been a huge turning point for Stasis. Fortnite gets away.
I'm so surprised with Jerry there not ghosting to chase that one down. I know the healing from Sylas at this stage is incredible, but there was that opportunity was there, that shutdown just sitting there. That's 800 gold. It's just one of those ones where you're like, that could be a game-changing moment right there, or the game-winning play, just getting it back. But no, it doesn't opt in for a play. Decides to go safe with it. But first tower now taken. They've rotated the bot side up. Sandy's going to have a much harder time up here against these, even with the level leads. Jerry also in the area. That first tower won't go down too much quicker, but they are also in this top side available for Rift. Herald, when it spawns, looks like they might be giving up on the Drake by moving the bot side up, but look at the pressure they have in nearly every single lane right now.
Yeah, they have the push in bot side. They have the push in top side. And they could do some serious damage, Seder, with this Rift Herald in their hands. 6 grubs, you find a couple picks. We've seen it before. They put it top side. They could ruin all 3 of those towers. So there's a lot of extra implications on this Rift Herald because it is 6 grubs. As Fortnite Well, he's found himself something, and so has Akira. Flashing on forward is Anti. Excellent. Flank angle on the Rel. Gets over the wall. They knock down Geico. There's a teleport coming in from Mags. But that's all for nothing right there, as looking for a 1 versus 1 is Havoc onto Bubster. This is level 11 Cassante versus the Ashe. That flash is taking you nowhere, my friend. Bubster falls. But the other side of the map, the mid lane, looks great for Mint Superior.
Yeah, that's one of those moments as an ADC you just hate.
Oh, well,
as a mid laner, do that too.
We've seen how this movie ends, Satyr. We've seen this a couple times now. As Mags, well, you can try and run away. You don't have the phase rush like you did last game. Fortnite is godlike, and this is Drake number 2 on the way from it.
Yeah, they've already got the feats completed for the minions. They've also got the feat from the tower if they didn't have it. So they're very strong right now. Yeah, the Untal is just not going to keep you safe for the moment from that Cassante. Even though Cassante was behind in the lanes, you're still just an Ashe. You still have to get those 3 items completed. You got to get that Runins for team fights. You got to get IE for the damage. There's still so much you need to do as Ashe to be able to even step close to a Cassante, and right now just not available. Talking about the mid, as much as we try to be as unbiased as possible, Mags is getting dumpstered in this lane. It is disgraceful, to be honest, about how well Fortnite is playing this and how Silas even got through the draft when they're this strong on it. Maybe they thought they could handle it. Maybe Orianna was safe enough, but Silas is just dominating. 2 items completed already. 6 stacks on that Dark Seal, is feeling themselves with that as well. And Marcotte, no fear of going forward right now when you possibly should have, because you don't know where that Silas was at the time.
Yeah, they're trying something. I guess at this point you get a little bit desperate. Whereas, and going back to your point about Jerry X almost having the kill on Fortnite and not going for it, you got nothing to lose at this point, right? You should have just went for it. You're probably going to die. He's probably just going to Kingslayer your face and take you down. But that's a whole lot of gold on the line. That's definitely jumped up to 1K by this moment. They're looking to try and make plays. Anti is the target. He's going to use the crash down to get away from the Q3. Vertigo waiting on a flank angle, maybe in the area to try and make something happen. And hey, he's going to do exactly that. Here comes the Nature's Grasp. And Fortnite's here to join the party as well. The fight is going to break out. It's a good true shot barrage. The Silas is actually stunned up. He does have to be careful, but he just does not die. And there's the engage from Anti. The Rel has made an impact in this fight, but Fortnite goes down though. Finally, they knock down the Silas. The rest of the fight is going to go the way of Mint Superior. The Cassante's the one to pick up the gold, but still the fight goes to Mint. And all things considered, they're still going to be happy about this.
Yeah, straight up 4v4, 2 kills to 4 in favor of Mint, but big shutdown. But it does go over to the Cassante, and it's not the greatest target for it as it's so heavily countered by the Garen, but it's still a lot of gold. It's still a completed item off the back of that one, and we saw the damage coming from Geico there in that situation where they had a little bit of time, not a lot, but a little bit. They got a decent amount of damage down, and I said if there was anyone that could, it was possibly the Ezreal could be the difference maker. I'd still put a little bit of trust in this Ezreal that they could do something if the game goes long enough to open this one up.
They are at their strongest point, or one of their strongest points. The big spike for Ezreal is 3 items. You get something like a Spear of Shojin, or maybe a Serilda's Grudge if you need more armor penetration. But also a very considerable spike is when you have the Manamune stacked to the Monomura. And that is where Geico is right now. So despite the deficit, like you said, Satyr, going to do a whole bunch of damage. But can you get enough time to actually deal that damage with all of these people jumping on top of you from Mint side? That's going to be a tough ask, even for an Ezreal with all that self-heal. They're not even going to try to contest the Rift Herald. That's going to go down. It's going to go into Vertigo's hands. They're going to try and get this mid push. But they have to be careful. Anti's in the area. Anti's fishing for something. The crash down, not going to connect onto Geico. Here comes a teleport as well. Nature's Grasp runs through the entirety of the team as Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to connect onto Marcotte. That Leona's not moving for a hot minute, but it's going to walk on away. And we actually don't get a fight here in the mid lane. And Stasis stay alive.
Yeah, they stay alive. They temper the storm, I think is the best way to put it. But we also saw how much damage Geico controlled back as they're looking at Fortnite here. This is a big engage.
They're going straight for it. It actually could work. They're layering a whole bunch of damage, and Fortnite is gone. Jerry X is the one to grab that kill. No trade back just yet for Mint Superior. They pulled the trigger. They found their engage. Is there a response from Mint Superior? It is going to be dangerous, though, because their strongest player is now gone, and that's going to be the Rel to drop on top of things. What are we witnessing right now, Satyr? Although the other side of the map, look at the solo lanes. Yeah, they're wrecking house.
Yeah, Garen and Ashe both getting tier Twos, possibly. No, just the one. I think they'll be able to stop the Ashe on the top side. But yeah, their side lanes have been eaten alive here. As they do get some good picks. They do get a tower in that mid lane, open up the map. But Bubster, you might be overstaying this one just a little bit.
Should be able to walk it out. And honestly, a 1-for-1 or for the towers.
Uh-oh.
Wait, Akira's going really far forward. There's no unstoppable onslaught or the ultimate from the Hecarim. Akira's going to use the blast cone and get on out of there. And the Ashe gets the tier 2 and walks on out scot-free. Going to finish the Rudon's Hurricane, working towards what I'm assuming is going to be an Infinity Edge. And that's really where this Ashe is going to spike. That's a lot of gold, though, Satyr, that went into the hands of the side of Mint Superior. They get 2 tier 2 towers, and there was no shutdown anymore on Fortnite. So even though they got the kill there wasn't that big bounty like there was before.
There is also a chance that will be a Bloodthirster coming through from the Ashe. There is some people arguing that Bloodthirster is better third. I say IE because I like to do damage as the attack damage carry. That's just my style, but it could still be a Bloodthirster. I don't want to put them firmly into the IE page just yet, but looking across the board right now, Silas did lose quite a bit there with those couple of deaths. Dark Seal stacks, most importantly, were the things that were lost, but maybe just a little knock to the confidence that I'm not unkillable just yet. So keep an eye on, see how the Silas plays. If they continue to play as aggressively as before, are they going to be a little bit more scared of that all-in engage that can come through from Marcotte and Jerry X? But the game is not over yet. Stasis, they still have opportunities to get up these couple of picks. It's just these side lanes are in a lot of trouble.
They found Akira, and there goes the Onslaught of Shadows. But the Garen just tanks up everything, and now the reinforcements have arrived. This looks like it's doomsday potentially for Stasis. They are on the run, though. Anti is on the retreat. Bubster is actually in the middle of everyone. That's a huge shockwave, though, from Mags. That is insanely strong, and here comes the Cassante. Where is Fortnite? Fortnite's in the side lane. The strongest player from Mint Superior was not here. That's 4 people down. He will be able to get a tier 3, but Satyr, it is Stasis that are staying in it and fighting back.
Fighting back to get 4 kills straight off the bat. They're going straight towards that Akatan. They don't have the jungler available to them, so this is going to be a hard fight for these, for sure, if they're going to try and take this one out, because this is the close range Voracious, and Sigma top is going to have a very hard time. Havoc's going to be losing most of their health here if they stay in this one, as you can see. Just getting chunked out. So Geico, this one's on you, and you are not tanky enough for this one. Look at that Cassante, nothing left.
That Otacon's got hands. He's scrapping. He's like, Floyd Mayweather or something in that pit. He does not want to be taken down. Well, Akira's teleported in. He smells blood in the water. He's not going to find anything, though. But you know what Mint is probably going to find off of these resets here, Satyr, is that Otacon. They're going to say, well, thanks for the sort of half leash. It did reset, but now that they've backed on up, they might have to hope for a Jerry Steal.
Yeah, there's always a chance with Hecarim with that Onslaught of Shadows coming in that there could be a fight, but Vertigo's going to drop the ult. There it is.
Jump on in! Oh my goodness, so close. It was the smite steal, but Jerry misses out. Now the rest of Stasis running for the hills. The horse is down. Horse Week is absolutely spoiled. And the arrow is going to connect onto the Ezreal. Jumping on forward is Fortnite. 1 HP. They don't have to worry because they got false lives. It is Havoc trying to do something in the backline, but there is no one from the backline of his own to hit anyone. He's going to tank for a whole lot of time. He's going to go all out as well, but there's that true damage from the Demacian Justice. Now Mags and Marcotte in retreat. They're going to claim a couple kills, but they aren't just as valuable as Bubster trying to do the damage. Isn't going to take down Mags. And this fight actually went relatively well for Stasis Gaming, although economy-wise, Mint is going to be happier.
Yeah, that was there were so many points in that where like things should have went differently, but Marcotte somehow staying alive and continuing to help CC things up for Orianna here, for Mags to just continue fighting was absolutely crazy. It brings Orianna back into the game as well. Archangel's also doing a lot of work. The steal was close, very, very close. It was actually Vertigo holding the smite, but as we come back and have a look at what's happening, Baron is being started up. It was spotted out. Geico does not have the ult to check it again. Jerry X might be feeling this one for the second attempt on the steal, though, because it was close, but no, going to opt straight into that mid. Let them have Baron. They still have 1 Agatan buff remaining on the Maokai, so we could see Maokai just send it on an engage and see what happens. But yeah, things got very messy there, Faris, is the best way to put it. It got very messy very quickly. Well,
Go
on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they need to slow the tempo down a little bit, both sides here, because everyone's moving too fast, and you're starting to panic here on what you can actually do as a team, and just forcing too many fights, because the fights are starting to go in favor of Stasis with Geico being this strong.
It is true. He's getting there, and the Spear of Shojin is almost on the way. It's going to be a lot harder to kill Fortnite now, though, with the Zanya's Hourglass in hand. A lot of those angles where maybe they could CC that Silas into oblivion are going to kind of disappear. And, well, Havoc, hey, you're in 4 versus 1, man. It's a little bit tough. Fortnite's baited you into this one. You maybe thought you were strong enough. But even when Fortnite is this fed, he remembers what happened last game to him in the side lane. He's saying, I'm letting you get a taste of what I had gotten a taste of last time around. They get the kill. They're marching down that top lane. Everyone from Min Superior grouped up to try and take down Akira, but no one home.
Yeah, we did talk about Garen and the power creep that's been happening, and you actually said the phrase, you got to throw everything at a Garen just to kill it. They're trying that, but Jerry X is saying, no, we're fighting this instead.
Fortnite goes into the Zanya's Hourglass and won't have that one available. Still has a hijacked Solar Flare, and there is an excellent engage from Anti, who, by the way, has been fantastic on this rel. 2 kills go over to Bubster. We might just see the end of the game right here, right now, Satyr. They're sieging onto the Nexus Towers. That's a big shockwave, but there's simply no follow-up for the side of Stasis. The first Nexus Tower drops. Anti's doing their very best to just keep everyone at bay. Here comes the Nature's Grass on top of it as well. Now they're going for the full dive. Akira's found one. That's Mags going down. It's Havoc trying to tank up here for Geico, who is gliding a little bit on this Ezreal. The health bars are getting lower and lower, but there's the Twisted Advance. There's nowhere for the Ezreal to go but his own fountain with his Nexus exposed. He's forced to watch his base get turned into rubble and the series be evened up at 1 game apiece. We're going game 3 between Mint and Stasis.
I said both teams need to slow it down just a little bit and realize what they need to do to build up this game, and both teams said no simultaneously and just sent it. And yeah, like, for everything Geico could have done in that game, didn't have the opportunity. There was brief moments where you were like, yes, the Ezreal's getting there, they're getting everything they need off, and then it suddenly just stopped and they just hit every button possible. Vertigo, Fortnite, Akira sprinting forward, Weeping Bubs, and Anti just landing perfect engages. That game ended faster than I hoped. I actually wanted to see another maybe 10 minutes to see how much Geico could do on that Ezreal.
Well, I think it was Min Superior that established exactly that. They probably said to themselves, Geico is probably their only hope. So let's get this done before that even becomes a glimmer of hope in their eyes. And that's exactly what they did. We said we wanted that sort of aggressive bot lane at the start. We got the Ashe Ezreal, but we got a relatively bloody game. We got an absolute Silas masterclass from Fortnite. That was really fun to watch. We got the Garen that we were talking about when we were on break between games 1 and 2. That was a whole lot of fun, and we're getting this game 3 Fearless on top of it between these two. It's been a relatively fun series. We've seen a lot of interesting picks. Now with 20 of them off the board, I mean, what are you thinking here, Satyr? Is there anything in mind that you think we might see here come game number 3? Or what type of strategies are you thinking, if any?
I touched on in between game 1 and 2, Cho'Gath being so strong right now in the meta.
Yeah.
I kind of hope I don't see it, because I don't want to have to explain why it's so busted. But I'm surprised we haven't seen Hui sneak through. That's one pick I haven't seen come true. Also, the classic hyper carries with Jinx. Jinx is my most played champion, my favorite champion. I think Jinx should be somewhere in this next one. Caitlyn, you've touched on it before that it has been picked before. The ADC pool is the one I'm really looking at the most right now, I think, because most of the top tier competitive ones are now gone. Also, support-wise, I think there's a sneaky Vernada maybe going to sneak in somewhere. I do want to see that, but jungle and top, is there anything you want to see?
Yeah, well, we saw the Cassante again. I was surprised we didn't see that in game number 1. I'm seeing a lot of these carry-style champions from Havoc's side. Things like the Jax, things like the Camille. We have seen Camille a little bit in competitive. They could opt in for something like that, but this team very much kind of relies on Jerry X as that carry, Geico as that big carry, so it would be interesting if they actually did opt into that. The Jace was something Akira was playing, but that's received a couple nerfs now. It is kind of back more to that damage style of play. I see a lot of interesting ones, though, from Akira. Things like Zac, things like Shen. We could see, I mean, those aren't necessarily the most exciting picks, but out of the pool, out of what they've shown, that could spice up the Fearless draft just a little bit. We've got a game 3 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. We got 20 champions off the board. It's going to be 30 once those 5 bans roll on through. could be in for a spicy one. The conclusion of Stasis Gaming versus Mint Superior here. Week 5 of the Titan Immortal League is coming up right after this. Welcome back to week 5 of the Titan Immortal League. And this best of 3 between Stasis Gaming Resurgence and Mint Superior is now going down to a best of 1, with soon to be 30 champions taken off the board once we include those bans from this game. Pools are being dwindled down. The stakes couldn't be higher here. I'm Ferris. This is Sader. We're going to see what happens in this one.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see. We have had chats in the background what we expect to see, and I've said that Wei is my number 1 to come true for this one, and I believe you wanted to see a jungle pick was the one that you were hinting at, I think, wasn't it? Marner, Lilia?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I think they're going to be banned away again, but if one of them is open, then definitely it's going to be picked up. Now, the thing is here, they're on the same sides again. Skarner ban is already going to be thrown up before the Lilia ban even comes through, so that actually might have not been a good idea from Stasis, because Mint has been banning Lilia every single time that Skarner has been left up in the air. So the fact that they do it early here means they might get that extra ban slot, and they're going to go for that Yasuo ban again. So interesting here. I feel like Stasis here, Satyrs, should have saved. They should have just been banning Imbessa there first, like they were before. They did that last game. I'm surprised why they went for the Skarner ban so early, as we're getting a Yone ban this time.
Yeah, so Lilia will be left open unless they want to take it away here. And that gives a lot of options over to both teams in terms of a change, because Mel is now going to be taken away. So Lilia available. Yone they take the Lilia though. Will they opt into something for Vertigo here? Or see, the thing is, Jerry X plays it. Zeri. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about 2 games of Zeri for Weeping Bubs. You as well pointed out the fact that you wanted to see maybe some of these scaling picks in the bot side. Opens it up for a potential Jinx pick here, and I think the Jinx matchup is really nice. Geico has played Jinx before. They are locking in though the Vi, which makes me think they might go for maybe something like a dive angle, maybe something like Misfortune or Kaisa. They do lock into Lulu though, which is interesting. They're getting this kind of leads me to believe that they're definitely going for the Jinx later on, and they're probably going to do it on R3.
Yeah, it's a really good read to take the Vi and go, we need to lock it down, and then take the Lulu to take it away from it. I did say Xin Zhao in the background is one of the picks that I thought might come true. I think it's way too strong in the current moment to control the middle of fights, as you can send everyone packing and stay safe. It's a medium tank. Tarek, I said last time, really, really good support at the moment. I like these picks coming true, with Tarek being the tank enchanter. He fits both roles perfectly for what the meta currently wants to give over. Jinx, as you said, is going to come true on the other side. So Jinx, Lulu, Tarek, Zeri. I would give the edge to Tarek just because it has that little bit of like extra shielding and healing the more he auto attacks, so the cooldowns are lower. But Lulu, so strong at the moment, that polymorph. So bot lane, already excited to see a change from the slow, methodical scaling into this hyper carry. We want to fight, we want to get strong. Cho'Gath being banned away, another thing I said earlier. Cho'Gath is very, very strong right now, so I'm glad to see that one. But you touched on the Jax was something that was played quite a lot by Akira, so glad to see that one taken away.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of just fishing for anything at this point. It looks like they're very much setting up for that top side counter pick, so that means they're probably going to blind their mid here. I mean, it'd be kind of weird unless they're kind of trying to take away potential counter picks so that they can get that mid counter pick for Mags, and that's actually what they're going to do. So they're locking in the Ornn. They wanted to make sure that they don't get stomped too hard here, but this opens up the door for Akira again. I mean, something like a Shen here, I don't know, out from left field. There it is. Okay, we are on a roll. A Shen from left field. It actually does do so well into these types of tanks, and applies that tied those shields with the Stand United and everything to kind of buff up these people like the Zeri.
Oh, the Veigar. Okay, that's an interesting one. That was in your notes, that has been played before. So I do like the look of the Veigar for now, but that way is still something that's ringing in my head. It's like, it actually rounds out this comp really nicely. A Syndra instead. I'm really upset that we're not seeing Hwei in game 3. Like, it is such a good pick right now, but Syndra has that blow up option, same as Veigar. It's just a little bit more setup required. While it's back to stacks for Fortnite, it's Nasus to Veigar. It's all stacks aplenty. This time we will do predictions for who do you think is going to win, because it's game 3. We get to look at these comps in full and go, which one would you prefer? I'm going to lead towards SG. I like Jinx. I think Jinx is very, very simple. you can get those resets, you can rush forward, you can do the damage. Do you feel the same, or are you leaning towards mint?
It's a little bit tough because these are definitely some pretty well-rounded compositions out there. I was leaning a little bit towards the mint side, and you and I can create a little bit of some friendly caster competition here. So I'll go for the mint side of things because of the fact they have Xin Zhao. The Crescent Guard can be so good against champions like Syndra and Jinx. The Veigar as well can absorb a lot of the pressure from Ornn and Vi, but on the other hand, can fall victim to the range that the Jinx and the Syndra have. I think a lot of it comes down to Ante and how well they can use the Cosmic Radiance. That's kind of the way that Taric works. It can be one of the best champions, one of the best support picks in the whole game if you use the Cosmic Radiance properly, but it's such a hard ability to time. If they can get it off and, get Stand United Shields, peel away this Zeri to try and pop off, then it's going to work out for them. And I honestly think they're going to be successful in doing that. I think Vertigo on the Xin Zhao is going to be a good job of blocking the damage. And, I'm going to go with mint in this one. So you and I can kind of see who at the end of this comes out on top in our predictions, Sater.
Yeah, that's why you always say your prediction first in case they wanted to go for SG. So I had to say my one first really quickly, but I can see a lot of strengths with the mint. I can see just the Shen Cosmic Radiance with the Stand United onto the Zeri, and just from EU with love, Zeri moments are our thing. It's something that we do historically well with the likes of Upset and stuff, where it's like, oh, they're down to just one final player. Oh my god, it's killed all 5 of them. How did that happen? It's a Zeri moment. It happens. And Weeping Bubs, this is your opportunity. The Varus, or was it the Varus in game 1? I believe it was Varus in game 1. It didn't quite hit the mark that we wanted to. The Ashe wasn't quite the Ashe that we see at the highest level. It felt kind of slow while the rest of the team kind of worked around it. It's one of those ones, but this is a champion where you can go, I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you how to play ADC. And I really hope to see Weeping Bubs step up and say, this is why I'm on this team. This is why I'm a carry threat. And maybe see more of that style going forward. On the other side, Geico has shown a lot of really good play on their ADCs from games that they have played. Especially, we have to go back to that Corki in game 1. It was fantastic. So can they do it this time around? Can they really blow it up? Also, Geico was on the Ezreal as well, which was also very strong. So it's Geico's consistency on show versus Weeping Bubs' ability to step in now and say, I'm going to carry this. So I'm very excited to see how these ADCs are going to do.
Me too. I mean, they're scaling picks. It's about as showtime of picks as you can get in the AD carry role within reason, right? Like, we don't see Vayne bot anymore. I mean, throw back to the old Vayne days, but this is kind of what we got in the new gen League of Legends. We see.
Don't worry, Vanquisher has it.
Yeah, they have a couple of those. And honestly, well, this is actually a call star, which is interesting from the side of Geico, which honestly, I'm going to be real, Sater. I don't like that much because you actually are the aggressors in this lane because of the range that the Lulu and the Jinx have. In all honesty, Taric should not be able to close the gap onto the Lulu and the Jinx without like a really odd flash play or catching someone off guard or the spacing's ruined. So kind of missing out on that a little bit of extra bonus stats that you get from the Doran's Blade and kind of conceding a little bit. I would have liked to see the Doran's Blade come out and then really try and play to win this lane with their range.
As a Jinx connoisseur, I'm going to say, obviously I'm not going to be at the level of all these, but what I will say is that Jinx has went through a strange change in that you just want to hard push lanes and stay safe now. So I don't mind the cull. You do have range advantages, but you're so much weaker now in the early game compared to other ADCs that can force forward, which is a phrase you'll hear me probably say in the future if you ever jump in and join us down in Vanquisher. But forcing forward is what Zeri and Taric want to do. They want to force into you and make you make a positioning mistake and catch you. Jinx doesn't want to force forward anymore. She wants to just hit the wave, push the wave out, step back, play safe. Yes, you can get damage down, and yes, Jinx with a reset is great, but you're looking for the reset. If you don't have the damage for it, you're not hitting them as strong as you'll see with the likes of a Zeri and a Taric. So you'll see Jinx go to force a wave, immediately step back, play safe, make sure nothing else is going on, no jungler is nearby, and they'll just keep repeating that, get that CS, then you'll see them with a BF sword, then they'll start to go hard. But Akira, immediately level 2, all in.
This is what I loved about the Shen pick, man. It just wrecks champions like Ornn. You have so much base damage on this pick. He might just, I mean, we're getting really close here. Havoc is kind of playing on a knife's edge. But this is the problem. The Ornn is just not going to be able to step up to these waves. The threat of the taunt is always there. And developing further on this whole idea of the Shen, Akira is going to be a big X factor for Mint Superior, because those stand uniteds are going to be integral to keeping this Zeri safe. Eventually, when Stasis wants to make aggressive plays with Vi, they might look for dives. He might get caught out by a Scout of the Week from Mags. The stand uniteds, now, I can't tell you how many times a Shen ults and you forget that the Shen exists, and all of a sudden he turns the fight and all 5 of your teammates are dead and the game is over. If that can happen here for Mint, it's going to be absolutely huge for them, as we see more trading happening here. Bellows Breath is going to be completely blocked by the auto block there, which I guess is another reason why Shen just loves this matchup.
I think Shen sees a melee top laner and just like claps with glee immediately, like, ooh, they're gonna miss everything. It's one of those champions, but Marcotte stepping very far forward here, and they're trying to trade back, but it's just Lulu just doesn't care. Lulu likes to poke back into it, but you see it time and time again down the bot side. You see Jinx push a wave in. Look where they are now. They're walking up towards the Skull Crab. They're warding it and saying, we're just playing safe. This is the Cull Jinx method, where you are constantly safe. Look at that ward. It barely dropped, and Lulu was just, I'm going to put another one. They're pushing, they're playing safe. They're not playing around with this. They are scaling, and that is their entire plan. While Bubster and Tarek, with the range at disadvantage, they're never going to have the opportunity to fully catch them. So it's going to be a very, very long lane for this bot side. And it all comes down to Vertigo to find an angle to find that Jinx and give Bubster the ability to do that damage. But they're going to set up a W, try land it slow. Tarek might chase it down, but other than that, it's just safety and farming.
And it's going pretty well for them so far. It is Vertigo who path away from them, and also someone who's having a really good time in their lane is Max, who also now might have that burning vengeance after game number 2 in the absolute Silas Masterclass that Fortnite gave us. And Fortnite has said, okay, well, you know what? I've used up all of my, I guess, sort of hypiness for one series. I'm going to go back to one of those stacking champions like you mentioned a little bit earlier, Satyr. And the Veigar, yeah, it could be strong later on, absorbing that pressure. The Vi and the Ornn specifically are going to have some troubles into that if it can actually scale up and get very strong here. We've yet to see this game broken open. There's a lot of scaling on both sides. There's a Veigar and a Zeri. There's a Jinx with ornaments rolling through, the Syndra burst. We could be in for the whole long haul here, Satyr, which honestly I wouldn't be too upset about for this game 3.
No, not at all. And we have to look as well at the reset factor. So one of the things about Jinx in its current state is you want a team around you that can get your reset for you. You don't want to be the sole purpose of going into a fight to get your reset. You want to throw your rocket in early. It's something I talked about with really high level, is that you stand so far back with Jinx, you throw a rocket in onto a target that's half health, and you expect your team to get you your reset, and then you rush in, because you've already got the first kill of the fight, hopefully, and you're ready to go, fully stacked and excited. So you throw the ult in, it's up to the Vi and the Cinder to blow up that one target that gets hit by the rocket. That's your idea. That's how you set up the fight, and that's how you win. Have to see how that one goes, but BF Sword now purchased for both ADCs. They're going to be chilling for a while on this. It's going to be a very slow bot lane until we see junglers really start to force something down there. But we do have a Shen. Always have to remember Shens.
Exactly. I know. It's so scary. You know, if I'm Stasis, like, it's hard to actually make plays once this level 6 comes through, because, and he also has priority on top of that. It's one thing if the Shen's getting pushed in and it's a weak side Shen, and, you know, even if the play works out, then it's like a Jace who's going to get 4 plates and just become 2,000 gold ahead, and the game's kind of over at that point. This is an Ornn that's getting absolutely whooped in this 1v1. It's one thing to play Shen, it's another thing to play Shen and win the lane. So Akira's really happy about this, and it's something that Stasis really do have to keep it in the back of their mind, as we're going to get the Drake for Grubs trade again. A lot of plates and towers are being hit here for Stasis, so the fact that they don't have those Grubs, they could be missing out on a little bit more plate damage, but with the scaling that they have, I mean, Drake's, you're going to be happy with that either way. I honestly think for Mint, the better trade would have been the Drakes. The fact that they do get the Grubs, well, they're not really hitting any towers, but all their lanes are kind of getting pushed in. Well, at least their mid and bot lane. We'll see if they can utilize that later on.
Yeah, as we do see, Tarek does manage to land a stun here onto the Jinx, but Bubster opts to go forward, immediately goes, oh, maybe we can't, and immediately steps back. It's that fear as well that Jinx is just that strong, as we do have a little scrap in the top side. Once again, as Shen is just flexing muscles at this stage.
Yeah, getting grass procs on top of that as well. This is a dream, but we're going to see a Call of the Forge God. and actually a flash. So big respect from Akira onto Havoc there. Thought maybe, I don't know, the Ornn would have mustered that damage as Geico, good sidestep here. And you could see fishing for these plays is Anti, and they're going to drop the exhaust onto the Jinx, who's going to just burn the cleanse flash like that. It's really, really safe in this bot side. That is huge going forward for Mint here, Satyr.
It's game 3. It's no one wants to be the first one to die. No one wants to give over that little advantage, that first blood, even though you don't get the bonus gold anymore. It's going to put your lane behind. You don't want to be that lane. You don't want to be that one in the Discord going, sorry, it was me, first death. But on the top side, Vertigo is in the area. Will get spotted out by that one minion if they step forward, but they do have the timing now. There has to be an inkling here that something's going on. You have to know.
But Havoc is just like, man, I don't want to give away this wave. You got to give away the wave, dude. Say goodbye. Kiss it goodbye. You're not going to get it. You're going to miss out on all that XP and Vertigo. That's all he had to do there. As my goodness, this Ornn is famished. You would think that we got one of those lane swaps in this game, but not the case. I mean, 25 CS up on a Shen. That's a dream, man. That's like once in a lifetime right there. This champ gets pile drived in lane by so many different champions. The fact that they got it on this angle, going to be getting plates on top of that too. Those grubs that they got actually kind of proving me wrong here. It's doing a whole lot of work for the Shen. This is going to be a massive asset, Satyr, going forward for Mint.
Yeah, and the recall coming through from Shen now, you'll actually see that straight away, even though Ornn can build in lane. Look at that Spirit Visage. Or not Spirit Visage, sorry. I can never remember the name, but I just always remember that as the Spirit Visage item, Spectre's Cowl. That one coming through immediately. Going to get rid of some of that extra damage coming from the Ornn. And Shen is ready to leave the lane now and walking back. TP will be up soon. I'm fully expecting the Shen to make a play alongside the Xin Zhao on some dive somewhere, but on the bot side currently Jerry X is hovering around trying to find something, but we'll only find a scuttle crab for their troubles for the moment.
Oh, Mags is in trouble now. The cage has been dropped. The flash is used. And there we go. Vertigo, again, kind of being like this phantom in these lanes. Not actually hitting, Havoc or Mags at all. They didn't actually get onto them, but forcing flashes, making them have to miss waves. It's been pretty impactful here, getting some good stuff, although the game's still even. Anti's just going to walk straight into danger. The stun, the dazzle, going to be dashed away from. Geico's actually going to find that sidestep, and here comes the Super Mega Death Rocket. They're using the Cosmic Radiance, but here comes the Stand United, and Vertigo is here for the counter punch as well. 4 versus 3. The Vanguard's also walking it down. They brought the whole squad to town. They get a kill. They're going to force them off the wave as well, Satyr. Here is the power of the Mint Superior composition.
Yeah, we saw that Cosmic Radiance hit the ground, and we saw that Stand United come through as well. The reverse TP to get back to top side as well. Shen only missing, I believe, 2 out of those 6 minions. Everything working in the bot side to set themselves up for that one. And yeah, it's a very quick play, but it puts you on the board. You get that first kill. I don't think we'll be seeing the very angry version of the Atakan this one around. It's going to be back to very simple revives and half-lives and everything else. And as much as I do love a messy, bloody game where everyone's constantly fighting, this is just incredible, I guess, posture from both teams to never overforce.
Yeah, and despite all that caution there, Stasis, they got baited in. I low-key forgot about the Stand United too. I was like, where the hell is this Terran getting that shield from? And then the Shen, of course, spawns on his head and saves the day. And the fact that he can teleport back to, like you mentioned, Satyr, and hardly miss anything for such a pivotal play. This is just on display why Shen can be in certain situations such a good champion. And look at him too, just winning the 1 versus 1. This is so good from Akira, having a hell of a game right now. They're also going to get 6 grubs on top of this. So the 6 grub for 2 Drake trade, if they can contest Drakes later on, I think it's super worth it. Vertigo is looking for Syndra, and Mags does not have flash. Wind becomes lightning connects. Here comes the audacious charge. The cage is locked down. Fortnite is gonna lay down the alt button. There's that outplay. We had the Garen last game. This time it's the Veigar with the Primordial Burst gets the kill. Jerry's in trouble too, as over the wall goes Bubster to try and find a little bit more damage. Vertigo, Wind becomes lightning connects, actually walks around the Flame Chompers. Geico going to trade a little bit of damage back, but 2-0 start for Mint Superior.
Yeah, and all of it being set up by Vertigo once again is just near every single play. As the second kill does go over to the Veigar as well. Great little selection there for the goal that is received, and Syndra does pick up a Dark Seal. in the back pocket there. So they want to get a little more aggressive, I think, in the future, start going for those kills. But Drake now being picked up as well. So they've got 3 out of 4 so far on those.
Oh, Vertigo has to be careful. The Scatter of the Week was expertly dodged from as they're jumping right on him with the cease and desist. There's a Crescent Guard, though, and this Xin Zhao doesn't take any damage. He's a whole tank. Finally, they're going to knock him down, or they aren't going to knock him down. He lives, and now the onslaught continues, but Anti stepped too far forward. Mags is going to grab that kill and also find the stun there onto Fortnite and Bubster, who's trying to deal a good amount of damage, but Geico's going to flash with the wall. The flash follow from Bubster over the wall to the red buff. It ends up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I'd love a replay of that fight if we could get one, because I think the Super Mega Death Rocket was used in an attempt to actually finish off the Xin Zhao, and they didn't actually get it. And then Jinx was like scrambling for a reset. They do end up picking it up off of Tarek, but it just wasn't enough. And then the Veigar cage comes down. You have to move around, the flash forward to try to catch on to Bubster. They flash to get over a wall. A lot was expended there in the attempt to get Jinx a reset, and we just didn't see it happen. So slow on the Vertigo. Dodges this absolutely perfect. Traps go down, doesn't land, and Jinx and Vi trying to work together there to get something. But look at this Crescent Guard, stop all that damage. Here goes the Super Mega Death Rocket. Doesn't finish off Vertigo, and it's a scramble here. Cleanse used. Does manage to step away, finish off the Tarek, and look at the damage. Jinx is going and going and going. Ult used as well from the Syndra, not enough. And just Jinx dying to go forward there. Look at all those low health bars, but just not able to get it. That could have opened up the game right there.
You can see the damage that Geico is able to deal and the danger as well in that play of Min Superior going too far forward. You could see Anti wanted a little bit more, but you give Jinx that reset. Jinx is going to run you down. If you lose your taunt from Shen, you lose your dazzle from Tarek, and you don't have a way to get back onto her, that range is going to be very important as, well, Havoc is in some trouble here. Guess what? That's a Q. Easy money. Give him the stacks. Fortnite says thank you very much. And, I mean, what easier way to grab another kill onto your Veigar than that? They get another one.
You managed to get another one here, and I think all eyes have to still be on the spot side, regardless of how well Shen is doing and the Veigar, etc. It all comes down to that Jinx here for Stasis. That's what we have to keep an eye on as Vertigo. Trying to find something here.
Oh,
they
no.
will lock down
He gets
Syndra.
stunned up. Wind becomes lightning, connects. And Mags flashes away, but they're flashing forward. Primordial Burst, nothing you can do to get away from that one. Jerry is left with no mid laner left. Has to use the Vault Breaker to get over the wall. Vertigo might want to pursue, but he's just going to take the control ward instead. But he's going to continue the onslaught here inside of the jungle. He wants that Gromp. Nothing really Jerry can do about this as he's sitting at half HP.
Yeah, half HP. They are still hovering around the jungle together like ships in the night, not quite spotting each other, but Vertigo will now get that information. We should see Marcotte step backwards now in an attempt to help Jerry, but it's going to be a smite fight for a Gromp here. No, they're both going to step away. It will be picked up by Jerry, and yeah, for everything that Vertigo has done in terms of setting up fights and getting all those assists, there is actually still a higher level smite for Jerry, as they're farming so much better right now with Vertigo getting everything for their team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking Vertigo's position better, though. Jerry, well, has tried, definitely has had a couple good engages. They almost got the kill onto Anti in the bot lane, and then they engaged around the Drake pit. Again, cease and desist, wild growth. This Vi is really strong. They just haven't really been able to convert a whole lot. Also, Min Superior has been able to get the feats of strength. First tower of the game acquired by Fortnite. I mean, look at this Veigar, though. This is a 8 to 9 CS per minute Veigar. 3 kills, will have the extra protection of the Saris Embrace, has the Swifty boots to be super fast and annoying, really difficult to lock down, and likely indexing immediately into a death cap. And has so many targets to just one-shot here, Satyr. Barring the Ornn, everyone is in danger if they get stunned up by the cage.
Everyone is in danger. It is truly going to be the baby cage of dreams if Fortnite can get a good one down, as Jerry X will finish that one off. But look at the objective control coming in, and Xin Zhao is a pick that I would take if I'm in solo queue and I get auto-filled. I just think it's in a great place. You can consistently fight, and when you go forward towards that Sundering Sky first item, you can change targets on Xin Zhao so easily. You can start hitting someone steps into your range, you can just immediately dash onto them, Wind become lightning onto a target, get a big chunk of health back, and suddenly you're able to kill them. It's a really strong pick. That Crescent Guard can buy you so much time. You're like a pseudo tank, and right now Vertigo is playing it full objective wise, but if someone has a flash missing on the enemy team, Vertigo's hovering around that area, and someone's going to die if he appears in that lane. It is incredibly potent when you play Jin Zhao like this, and really enjoying watching it so far.
Well, sometimes Xin Zhao can be that carry that you need. He's just that type of champion. Other times, he can take a step back. And I think Vertigo's done a good job, like you're saying, Sater, of understanding who is the actual carry on this team. It is Bubster. It is going to be Fortnite. Those are going to be the people to deal the big damages, and is playing really nicely towards them. We got to start on this Infernal Drake now. A Drake apiece for both of these teams. The start is here for Stasis, but everyone from Min Superior is in the area. We got Havoc waiting in the wings. The Rift Herald is going to be charged up as well. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Stasis to make a play, but the retake is in for Min Superior. The Cage is going to push it back. Here comes the Call of the Forge God. The Drake is getting very low. The ult is onto two people, but there's simply no fall. Now they're going to start up the play. Jerry finds the smite. Good searing charge onto two, but here comes the Cosmic Radiance, and everyone on the side of Min Superior is invulnerable. One kill goes over. Havoc will fall. The rest of Stasis Gaming in retreat, but they are going to continue to play. The Wild Growth is going to keep the Vi alive, but not for much longer. Two more kills go the way of Mint. They want to continue. They are going on to Mags as well. They get 4. Fortnite is unstoppable. 9-1. Mint Superior taking full control.
Yeah, Lulu gets separated from the Jinx, and it all just falls apart so quickly there, as we also will see that Rift Herald charge into that tower, as they're going to go for tier 2s in both mid and bot lane, as there's nothing this Lulu can do, and they are going to get another charge off. No way.
Oh my gosh. They're getting everything here, Sater. They've blown the game wide open. I said we might be in for the long haul, because think about how that early game went. We didn't see a whole lot of action. Well, Min Superior, I mean, they just played a textbook game. This is the team we were expecting to see in game number 1. This is how we expected the series to go, or at least the way I thought it was going to go. We're just getting it 2 games later. This game kind of feels like it's already over. Sater, we're almost at a 10,000 gold lead at pre-20 minutes.
Yeah, but that could all turn at the flip of a coin. Jinx gets one good reset. That Cosmic Radiance doesn't hit all 5 members. We could see them falling apart. We're going to get a quick replay here. So they do manage to get the Drake off of this one. So it was a great retake here. Bubster is very far back in this one, as they do manage to set up the Drake. Double knockup comes true, and they're still attempting to get something for the Jinx. Jerry gets it, but look, Geico's doing damage. Geico's doing damage. Stunned. They try to peel the Taric off of the Jinx. Then we see... There it is. Cosmic Radiance. No damage.
Oh, that's alive. Right here. Bubster is in trouble. Vertigo's in trouble as well. This could be the turn play that you were talking about here, Sater, as that's a kill to the Jinx. They've somehow won the fight. Fortnite's going to use the Cage to try and peel him. The Jinx is hitting over the wall. Shutdown onto Vertigo. Somehow, Stasis have been able to find their play. And also, yeah, the Shen is split pushing. Tried to get involved with the Stand United, but could not, because whoever he was ulting died before it could even go through.
Yeah, the ult was used on Vertigo, but even though we ended up getting it cancelled and they couldn't get the Shen 2 to fight, just the immediate pressure pulls back Ornn. So they can't probably go as hard as they want to do before as Geico. No
oh my
way.
Goodness. That was close.
Yeah, that was very, very close. As we're going to see, that's going to be a tier 2 taken. There is wards being dropped around Atakan as well. No, they're going to step back off this one. Okay, I fully believe that Geico has that IE available in the shop if they can get back for it. Order about 100 gold off. I can't see their full items right now, but yeah, we're starting to see that Jinx finally get some gold behind them. Get that IE. Yeah, they'll have the IE completed now. So yeah, Jinx online. That's all the damage you need. One excitement, and you don't really need an attack speed item. That Akatan will be looked at very, very soon as well. Ornn now level 13. One more level can upgrade that IE for the Jinx. So we're starting to get those Ornn items online. I don't think this is over just yet, but Mint, they're in an amazing position right now. They just can't let it slip.
They need to make sure that they don't over-aggress to try and take down Geico so that he does get a reset and then runs them down. I feel like that's what happened in the last play that we just watched. And a lot of the brunt of the gold lead is on this Shen. It is on this Veigar. It's not so much in the 80 carry. So it actually is Geico, especially given the 2 items that these 80 carries have built. IE Spike, a much more expensive item than Brunon's Hurricane. Geico is a lot stronger right now than Bubster. The thing is, they just really have to be careful of engaging into this Veigar, because at 1 cage, anyone is gone. It is literally, it's lights out for you. Fortnite is kind of the X factor at this moment until they can kind of get Bubster to those 3 items. And they just want to call game right here and try and see if Stasis ends up contesting this.
Yeah, but right now Syndra is in that top side. They do manage to get a tower there, but there's no way for them to contest this unless Jinx fires a Miracle Rock.
Oh, yes, close.
We're not that good at predicting. We're not that good. You might be, but I'm not. Oh, Akira.
Well, I was kind of hinting at it, but yeah, no, not quite close enough. Again, that was the Jinx of old until those nerfs came on through. Before those nerfs, though, Jinx would literally steal anything with that rocket.
Yeah, could steal anything, but for the moment, it is nice and relaxed. We're going to go back to the low tempo. No one's going to be going too hard, as we do have quick pause would have came through there, but what are we going to do, Orn, as you are trapped in the Christmas cage?
Oh, wow. He kind of got Phantom Cage there. He was stunned when it wasn't even there. And Havoc is gone. Vertigo and Fortnite grab a freebie for themselves right before the Drake. I mean, maybe they would have got it anyways. They do have the false life Stasis. They have to be careful in this game state, so might actually just kind of be a meaningless kill. But we got to talk about these Veigar stacks here. Fortnite, 254. If our observer as well could click on Veigar just so we can see how much ability power he has at 23 minutes as well, that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, especially with that Rabadons, because you get that extra percentage. Yeah, so if this game goes another, let's say 8 minutes or so, we get to maybe 31, 32 minutes when we start to see that forward item fully completed and maybe an extra blasting one on top, or maybe another needlessly large, we could see a 1k Veigar come through very, very quickly. And at that point, it's just anything can be killed. Anything.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Orn build as well. That's more armor than it is magic resist. You got the Merc Treads. And that's about it. So honestly, yeah, Void Staff, if that blasting wand turns into a Void Staff, I mean, it's lights out for even Havoc if he gets caught into that. So this is, again, it's a really tough position for Stasis to be in. They do have the really strong Jinx, and now the ornaments are coming through as well. The Infinity Edge is upgraded, working towards the LDR to eat through that front line. Geico can carry this game, but Mint also have the option here, Satyr, to just spread out their forces and make sure that Miracle 5 versus 5 teamfight can't really be feasible for Stasis' side.
Yeah, they do manage to get that ornament onto the Jinx. Big spike there in terms of that extra little bit of AD. They're also not opting into an attack speed item at all here. They're actually going straight into LDR, which I think into the likes of Shen, Taric, Jin Zhao is a really good choice. I do prefer going Runins just for the splash damage, the extra rockets, and everything's going to be so groups and together. But if they can get the reset off of the Shen or the Taric, which are the two front-facing alongside Jin Zhao, that could be enough attack speed for them to get through the rest. Just right now, there's so much control for Mint around how these engages start and how the fight kind of develops as it continues. And then on the other side, it's like they're looking for a mistake. They're looking to protect the Jinx and find a pick at the same time. While on the other side, they can hit whatever's in front of them. They can front to back so much easier than anyone else.
And they're going to try and do that right here, right now. They're trying to jump onto Jerry. And Havoc is going to be the target. We actually saw Stand United. Whoa, Bubster's 1 HP. Something happened there. And the Stand United actually made the difference there. The only reason why Bubster is alive, whether that was Mags that found a Scatter of the Week. He has to be careful. Oh my goodness. Has to flash. There was no ward in there. Mags is hacking or something. Just knows he's in there. Maybe he just predicted that because he had vision on earlier. But it's Stasis that forces Mint away.
Yeah, so Super Mega Death Rocket and Syndra's ult was used to nearly eliminate Bubster, and that reset was looking very tasty, but they didn't get a Stand United saves, and Bubster is out of this fight. Do they opt into starting this Baron or just clearing the wards and forcing them forward as Jerry X is just waiting in the wings? Look at the vision right now. There's just nothing available for them. They could be on Baron, they might not be, but with Jinx showing, they're going to make the executive decision. They're not on it. Also now they've dropped the ward onto it as well. That nice long range blue ward gives them all the information that they need. Baron has not been started. Off on the side lane though, we do have Syndra into Shen. I'm still giving that to Shen no matter what anyone says. That Shen is terrifying.
Oh yeah, 100%. And he's got a Hall Radiance. He's got some magic resist. There is some penetration on the side of Mag's side. Has that Blighted Jewel. And this is actually this is a redemption Shen. So this is something more supportive. And Akira is just saying, yeah, I'm really strong. I'm really far ahead. But, you know, my carries are my carries. And I'm going to put my eggs in their basket. I think that's a smart choice, but will be a little bit more vulnerable as that redemption isn't as gold effective. Well, it's gold efficient, but it's a cheaper item. It's a support item. Won't give him as many resistances. We do see the Bloodthirster choice for Bubster, which I think in this niche situation, Sater, is better than the Infinity Edge because of all that extra poke. You take a Scat of the Week, you live with a third HP, you got Bloodthirster to heal yourself back up.
Yeah, but also on the other side, the LDR has been completed by Jinx, so that front line has to be a little bit more cautious going into these fights, as we are slowly getting closer to Ornn completing a magic resist item. So looking across the builds, things are starting to get a little bit better now in terms of getting rid of resistances and gathering resistances. But that Void Staff for the Veigar, something we have to point out as well, as Jerry X has found himself a Shen.
They're trying to peel him away, and they're going to be successful in doing so. Like you said, that Void Staff is done. This Veigar hurts. I wonder how much the voices are telling him to upgrade to Medjai's right now. It's probably pretty strong in his ear. I mean, how could you resist as the Veigar? They're just starting up the Baron. They just want to go for this. This is really risky because the rest of Stasis is in the area. Are they just going to flip this? Actually, Jerry X isn't here, so maybe it was a smart choice in the end. Here comes a Call of the Forge God, which is only going to connect onto one. The Super Mega Death Rocket does not find the Taric, and I don't even know if Mint even want this fight. They can just back out, regroup. They don't have to risk anything. They get away clean slate with the Baron.
10 seconds Drake, though. If do they have time to reset, get back into this fight? Jerry X already has the inside track, dropping the ward, setting themselves up. This Drake is the biggest thing right now, as it gives you soul point. They have managed to catch on to Akira, but the fight's breaking on the inside.
Jerry is just going to flash away. Oh my gosh, double cage. That's huge. Who's gone? It's a flash away. The wild growth has been utilized. Jerry X is trying to keep himself and his whole team alive. The Cosmic Radiance was used. Everyone is invulnerable. Now they're on to Geico, who is going to use the flash to jump away. But the flash forward from Vertigo is in. The Audacious Charge goes on forward. The Crescent Guard is going to keep himself alive, but that's a huge Scat of the Week, though. It is going to be empty to drop. The reset is in for Geico. Here comes the Jinx. The rockets are flying. They are raining true. Everyone from Mid Superior is backing up, as they know that this Jinx is dangerous. That's a good Scat of the Week, as Vertigo is going to jump on, and he also has the Sandy on it for a little bit of shielding, and the Jinx is going to go down. There's the Primordial Burst as well from Fortnite. It's Mint Superior in the clutch moments, bringing it home, and they might just be able to run it down and end the game.
This could be game ending right here, right now, as Akira is just running straight towards that inhibitor. The rest of the team foregoing the Drake. They know they don't need it. They know they can end it. The reset was there. The damage was not. The rest of the team, everyone was so scared of going forward. That Veigar just holding that Primordial Burst was just terrifying. And they will end this game unless Jerry can get through onto this. But Baby Cage says no. Shen says no. The knockup is there. Marcotte trying their best, but that is it. That is done. Minted.
And they are successful. 8-0-5 for Fortnite's Veigar. An excellent performance. A really good attempt, though, from Geico, who, despite the deficits, did do such a fantastic job of dealing enough damage in the fights to still be a threat. That last fight was close, but Vertigo made that executive decision. Whoever made that shot call, whether it was Akira, whether it was Vertigo, they kind of just said, okay, I have ultimate, I have Stand United, just go, Jinx no flash, let's make it happen. And they made it happen, Sater. That executive call is what won them the game a little bit early on, before the Jinx could really get to that point where she took over.
Yeah, that was that last fight. Jinx just stepped to the left into the blue and just got cornered in that horrible position. And then the Primordial Burst hits the second target, and they just disappeared. They just got Thanos snapped from existence. And yeah, it all came down to that. And for everything they got in terms of like the Jinx reset was there, the damage was there. They were going forward with the Rocket. The rest of the team was like, there's still a Veigar there. We can't step forward here. And it just all fell apart. But we saw the strengths of both comps there, and you were dead right. It all came down to that. But the one thing that sticks out in my mind is it didn't come down to the ADCs again. That was the one thing that like ate away at me. It's just like, I just wanted to see one of the two AD carries absolutely obliterate the enemies, and it just came down to mid and top.
Yeah, it did. I mean, honestly, it was a really strong performance from Geico, and maybe if they were on more even footing, then it would have been the Geico show, and it could have actually been a Stasis Game 3 win. But yeah, not the case. I mean, it was not Mags, it was Fortnite on the Veigar that performed so well. Akira on the Shen did a fantastic job. Vertigo as well, just kind of being that supportive character. You know, Xin Zhao can be very flexible in the way that he plays those games. Vertigo did an excellent job, and Mint Superior will improve to 4-1 here in the Titan Immortal League after that best of 3. That is going to conclude our broadcast for the evening. I'll give a quick shout out, though, on sort of. I did it again. I looked to this side. I see it mirrored in the camera.
Camera.
You see it there. There's the merch. FOF Esports /Titan. Get your merch. It's cool. It's quality. It's comfy. It's nice. It's got the champion logo as well. Go get your stuff. Represent this fantastic organization. And we'll see you next week for week number 6. Satyr, it was an absolute pleasure having you on, my man. Good to cast with you again.
It was good seeing you again. It's been a while since GHG days, but it's good to see you joining the Titan roster. Some amazing casters here, and you've been absolutely smashing it. And you also got he's spitting though in that last team fight, so you can take that one as well. Chat really seems to like you, so glad to see you again.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a whole lot of fun. I was going a little hard. It was getting a little bit intense there, but that's the kind of plays that you gotta step up for. But that's gonna do it for us. Week number 6. It should be Slayer and Quacks that you guys will see, and it'll be myself and Golden Gad back for week number 7. Getting pretty close to playoffs. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Thank you to Golden and Wookie, our producers on the broadcast tonight, and we'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone.